Welcome back to San Luis Obispo for CCL Baseball on the Foresters Radio Network. Once again, the Sturs have traveled north to take on the SLO Blues for the third game of the series. I'm Hunter Shoemake, and we welcome you to Sinsheimer Park from the central coast of California. Well, the SLO Blues, they have taken the first two games of this series, and last night, the Sturs were dealt a 7-5 loss. The Sturs left 9 men on base. Rather, 15 men on base, with the Blues leaving 9 men on base throughout the course of the 9-inning affair. The Santa Barbara Foresters did bring the tying run, get the tying run on base, and the go-ahead run up to the plate in the 9th inning, but they came up short. Look to bounce back today against their rivals, the San Luis Obispo Blues. And here's the lineup today for Santa Barbara. There have been some changes for their manager, Bill Pintard. Leading off in that first will be Caden Miller. To bat second, Terrence Kill. Batting third will be Easton Mumau. Batting fourth, Brenton Clark. In the 5 spot will be Cole Chamberlain. Batting 6 will be Sawyer Farr. Serving as the DH initially will be Sam Stevens to bat 7th. Batting 8th in left field, Addison Klepsch. The 9-hole hitter will be Coleman Ryan, with Drew Rarick getting the start on the hill. But the starter for the Blues will be the right-hander from Cal Poly, the 6'5", 225 right-hander Eric Kividal. He is currently on the hill, and coming to the plate is Caden Miller, already in the left-handed batter's box, and wasting no time. The first pitch is a fastball high and away, and underway we are from Sinsheimer Park. Third game of this series against the Sturs and the Blues. Thanks for joining us. It's a very nice evening here from San Luis Obispo. Here's the 1-0. Fastball is foul back off the barrel of Caden Miller, directly behind the plate. 1-1. If you were with us last night, Caden Miller was batting at the 7th spot in his first start of the season for Bill Pintard. Finished up a season with University of Texas San Antonio. But he's now at a 1-1 count. Here's the pitch. It's going to be an off-speed missing high and away for ball 2. Yesterday, Miller went 1 for 3, and he also worked 2 walks, so very nice first day on the job with the Sturs. But he is now in the leadoff spot, so getting bumped up all the way from the 7th hole to the first spot in the order. Here comes a 2-1 pitch, and the 4-seam fastball will miss upstairs for ball 3 to the leadoff man. It will be Miller, Kill, and Mumau scheduled in the opening inning. Kividal winds up the 3-1 pitch, and the fastball is located on the outer edge. Full count. Caden Miller thought that ball was away for ball 4, but just able to paint the corner was Kividal. And he will now wind up the 3-2 pitch. Popped up and behind the plate. Maybe a play for the catcher, Charlie Caruso. He's in the foul ground on the third base side of the park and makes the squeeze. There is a lot of real estate between the plate and the backstop. Most parks, that ball would be in the first row seats, but here at Sinsheimer Stadium, it results in out number 1 in the opening inning.
Next up, number 2, Terrence Kill.
1 away and the base is clear, and that's going to bring up Terrence Kill, the center fielder today for Bill Pintard. Stands in 1 away, and the base is clear. Kill hitting .311 so far this season. Here's the pitch. Fastball is on the ground, right side. Gavin Constantine, the shortstop. The second baseman charges in, and the throw will be well in time to retire TK. 1 pitch by Kividal, and he will retire the center fielder. 2 down in the first. Last night, the Sturs had the bases loaded in the opening inning with only a single out, unable to convert. That was the story through the first 6 innings. They stranded 10 men on base through just 6 frames. Ended up coming up 2 runs short, looking to bounce back today. But now 2 gone, bases clear. Here's Easton Mumau. First pitch will be a fastball on the outer half for a strike. Santa Barbara now playing in their 15th game, a 10-3 record. Still awaiting the finishing of the game against the Arroyo Seco Saints. Here's the next pitch. Is going to be a slider down for ball 1. Easton's hitting .386. That is the best average on the team. Here's a 1-1 as a slider and is foul back directly behind the plate for strike 2. A fantastic average and on-base percentage of .525. One of the best on the team, only second to Brenton Clark, who would be next if Easton is able to reach. But with 2 out, here comes a 1-2 pitch. Kividal will induce a fastball outside of third base, lined right on top of the third base dugout where Santa Barbara is housed. It remains 1-2. The right-hander Kividal just finished up his junior year with Cal Poly The 1-2 pitch to Easton Muma is rolled outside of first base. Easton is able to stay alive, and this will now be the 6th pitch of the plate appearance. Kivadol. Stout frame on the hill, 6'5", 225. Winds up another 1-2 pitch to Muma. He sprays it over the third base dugout. And Easton fights off 3 to stay alive. And Muma, since coming to Santa Barbara, has been one of the most consistent men, collecting hits on a daily basis, getting on base yesterday. He went 1 for 2 with 3 walks. And those 3 walks in that hit bumped his on-base percentage by 25 points from yesterday. But another 1-2 pitch to Easton is a fastball fouled off over the third base dugout. Another one sliced off by the lefty Muma. There comes another 1-2 pitch. Check swing, but did he go? The third base umpire says no, he did not. Able to lay off the slider down 2-2. So now it'll be the 9th pitch of the plate appearance to Easton Muma. The fastball swing and a miss. Got him to go down swinging. Forcing fastball high in the zone by the right-hander. Eric Kivadol has to face the minimum in the first. Through a half inning, no score. Drew Rarick out to the hill for the Forsters when we return.
Lee & Sons Plumbing and Heating is proud to join the Foresters family of sponsors this season. I, Conan, a third-generation owner, was proud to coach for the Foresters for several seasons. Just like the Foresters are champs on the field, Lee & Sons are champs off it. We're experts in every type of plumbing and heating service and repair, from leaks and clogs to heaters and faucets. Strike out your plumbing problems by calling us at 805-965-9586. Lee & Sons, the champions of plumbing and heating. 805-965-9586. Stir it up.
Back in San Luis Obispo, Drew Rarick will get his 3rd start on the hill of the season. For the right-hander who plays with Texas A&M, he has pitched 6 innings, 2 hits, 3 runs, only one of which was earned. He has walked 4 and struck out 10. And through those 6 innings, a 1.5 ERA. Here's the defense behind Drew. Easton Muma will be at 3rd. Coleman Ryan is at short. Sawyer Farr, the 2nd baseman. Caden Miller will be at 1st. Cole Chamberlain will do the catching today. And here's the outfield. Addison Klepsch left. Terrence Kill in center, and Brenton Clark out in right. The SLO Blues will have E.J. Royal, Sam Ardois, and Mason Ashlock scheduled in the bottom half of the 1st inning. And if we recall back to last night's contest, the Blues put up 4 runs in the opening inning and then 2 in the 2nd to make it a 6-0 ball game through 2. And that put the Stars behind the 8 ball. They were able to claw their way back in the 7th to make it a 4-run ball game, but ended up coming up short to their longtime rivals, the SLO Blues. When you look at the first 2 games of this series, SLO took game 1 5-2 in Santa Barbara. That fantastic outing from Frank Camarillo. The immaculate inning from the starter for the Stars in the 2nd was the pitcher of record was assessed the loss for Santa Barbara. But yesterday, the 2-run loss, so it's been some pretty tight ball games between these 2 teams. As the Stars wearing their blue tops, gray bottoms, and the SLO Blues wearing a darker blue top and white bottoms. It'll be E.J. Royal to stroll to the plate, and Drew Rarick, another big frame on the hill. Another man stands at 6'5", but a few more pounds compared to Eric Kivadol, with Drew 245 officially listed on the roster. Both men are ready to go, and Rarick looks in a Chamberlain, and winds up the first pitch to E.J. Royal. Fastball will be missing down and away. Ball 1. Last outing for Rarick was on the 19th against the San Diego Waves. It was a 4-2 victory for Santa Barbara. Here comes the 1-0 pitch to Royal. It's inside, nearly hits the left pelvis of the right-handed batter Royal, so that is now ball 2. In that outing for Rarick, he went 4, 2 hits, 2 runs. Both were earned, no walks, and struck out 6. Infield straight away, as is the outfield, with a stout breeze blowing right to left here at Sinsheimer Stadium. Comes a 2-0 pitch to the leadoff man, as Royal will take a fastball on the outer half, 2-1. Rarick typically works with a 4-pitch mix. Fastball, slider, changeup, and curveball. Here's the next pitch. It's one hopper over to the third baseman. Mumma charges in, slings it over to first in time to retire E.J. Royal. 1 away in the bottom of the first. No score. 1 down in the Blues half of the first to bring up Sam Ardois. Ardois has hitting .269 this season. And for Dean Traynor, the manager for the Blues, a staple at short on the left side of the infield. In terms of the infield for Santa Barbara since yesterday, Bill Pintard making some changes with Coleman Ryan and Caden Miller both starting. Ryan at short and Miller is at first. Now the first pitch will miss upstairs to Ardois. Looked like the curveball from Rarick that didn't curve. Ball 1. And it is worth noting Coleman Ryan currently playing back at the grass at shortstop, as is the other middle infielder Sawyer Farr. But with the bases clear, 1 down, here is the 1-0 pitch. It is a fastball right down the middle, 1-1. The Sturs went 3 up, 3 down in the top of the first, and Drew Rarick looking to find his rhythm early. Tire the first man he faced, here is a 1-1. Is a slider on the ground, 1 hopper to the first baseman. It's a foot race, and Caden Miller will do it himself. Puts the stop sign up to his starting pitcher, Rarick, and Ardois will ground out 3 unassisted. 2 down in the first. 2 quick outs for Drew Rarick. Fargo, North Dakota native, spending his summer now in Santa Barbara. And it's so cool to see all the different players from various parts of the United States coming to Santa Barbara. There are a few local boys who hail from Santa Barbara, but the majority of the team from Texas, Arkansas, even the Dakotas represented. But now here's Mason Ashlock. The first pitch is a slider down and away. Ball 1. Ashlock did not play yesterday for San Luis Obispo, serving as a DH this evening for Dean Traynor. No score in the bottom of the first, 2 down, base is empty. 1-0 pitch is a fastball right down the middle, located perfectly, 1-1. Another nice crowd at Sinsheimer Stadium. 5 rows of stadium seats that horseshoe around the infield. Relatively full. Here comes a 1-1. It's off the end of the bat, slicing it down the right field line. Foul. That is strike 2. And the grass berm a little bit more filled up tonight compared to yesterday. Some families camped out on blankets with the grass berm surrounding the 5 rows of orange bleacher seats here at Sinsheimer Park. Rarick retired the first 2 men he faced in the first. And he's ahead 1 ball and 2 strikes to Mason Ashlock. Here's the pitch. That is down in the dirt. Fastball spiked in the opposite batter's box, 2-2. Not a cloud in the sky. Beautiful blue skies with some nice hills in the surroundings here at San Luis Obispo. As Rarick, the right-hander, winds up the 2-2 pitch to Ashlock. It's fouled off the first base line and over the first base dugout, out of the entire complex. It remains 2-2. And Rarick, as he will reset on the hill, now fire the 6th pitch in just a moment to Mason Ashlock. Ashlock batting from the right side, the designated hitter. Rarick shakes off a couple, and now the 2-2 pitch. Fastball is down. Ball 3. Full count to the DH Ashlock. Zach Tollerman would be next if Ashlock is able to reach. And the starter for Santa Barbara in his 3rd start of the season takes a deep breath on the hill, gets the signs from Chamberlain. And another 3-2 pitch And this was chopped one hop to Easton Mumma, charges in, actually fields off 2 hops, sidearms it over to first in time. A couple of good plays from Easton Mumma down at the hot corner, and it's a 1-2-3 first. Through the first inning, no score between the Sturs and the Blues.
During this time of record market highs and gradual economic recovery, it's essential you have someone you can trust. For 10 consecutive years, the Santa Barbara News Press Reader's Choice Poll has awarded Tremblay Financial Services recognition for the financial guidance they provide their clients. Tremblay Financial Advisors continually educate their clients with new options and financial planning tailored fit to you. For more information or an appointment, call 569-1982 or log on to tremblayfinancial.com.
Securities and advisory services offered through Centaurus Financial Inc., member FINRA and SIPC, a registered investment advisor. Tremblay Financial Services and Centaurus Financial are not affiliated companies. Investing involves risk, including potential loss of principal. No investment strategy can guarantee a profit or protect against a loss in periods of declining values.
When it comes to your office equipment needs, call Coastal Copy. We're the largest independent office equipment dealership in the Tri-Counties, and as your locally owned authorized Savin dealer, Coastal Copy offers complete sales, service, and supplies on a full line of Savin digital copiers and MFPs, Savin color printers, digital duplicators, Savin wide format systems, digital presses, document management solutions, and more. That's Coastal Copy.
You'll see a difference because we go the distance.
Call 1-800-995-8835.
Back at Sunsheimer Park from the Central California coast. No score onto the second inning as Brenton Clark, Cole Chamberlain, and Sawyer Farr scheduled for the Sturs as Eric Kividal had a 1-2-3 first inning. Third time that these two teams have met. Did not have a game on Monday. They'll have a day off tomorrow. We'll play 2 more games this weekend. The Sturs won't be playing the Blues on Friday, but here comes the first pitch to Clark to bat from the left side. And it's going to be a fastball missing high from Kividal for ball 1. And Clark is having a .368 start to his season with Santa Barbara. Here comes a 1-0. It's going to be a slider located in there for a strike, 1-1. We were talking about what Easton Mumma has done. He was the final batter of the first inning. Really similar numbers between these two men. Here comes the 1-1. Fastball is on the outer half. Clark reached for it and fouls it back into the screen for strike 2. Clark a .368 average, but an on-base percentage of .537, leading the entire team. We'll have to shorten up. 1-2 the count. Here comes the pitch. Fastball is popped up left side. Foul ground for the third baseman. Cumberford drifts over, but that ball is into the Forster bullpen. It remains 1-2. Clark regains the lumber and stands back in. The lefty dominant lineup against the right-hander Kividal. The second start of the season, second appearance for the right-hander. Here comes a 1-2 pitch, and it's going to be a changeup away, 2-2. Chamberlain next, and then Farr for Santa Barbara. No score, just in the top of the second. Comes the 2-2 pitch. Slider misses upstairs. Ball 3, count is now full. Santa Barbara, they entered the game on Sunday against the Blues. Won 7 straight, but now a 3-2 pitch. Foul over the third base dugout. Slicing out of the complex into the parking lot. Remains 3-2. But Santa Barbara has now dropped 2 straight games against their rivals. The Blues bested Santa Barbara last year through an 8-game season series. Clark continues to battle. Here comes the payoff pitch, and that is down. Ball 4. Brenton Clark yet again will reach base. He had 2 walks yesterday. 16th walk of the season for Brenton Clark. And a leadoff walk to start the second.
Number 8, Cole Chamberlain.
In case you're wondering, that 16th walk and even the 15 walks entering today leads the team in that department. But here's now Cole Chamberlain. Another man to bat from the left side, hitting .304 through the first 15 games being played. And at first, nobody out, no score. Here comes the pitch. It's a fastball, a high fly ball in the right, but the right fielder, Logan Hart, takes one step forward to record the first out. Did not have to move his feet. And Cole Chamberlain sees one pitch and is retired for the first out in the second. Sawyer Farr will now stand in, the switch hitter to bat from the left side. Man at first, one down. No score. Eric Kividal will wind up the first pitch to the switch hitter. And Sawyer will see a fastball high and away for ball one. Sawyer's hitting .333. And in yesterday's contest went 0 for 3. Then Easton really came in his spot to take over the duties at second. Comes the 1-0 pitch, and the switch hitter will take a strike, 1-1. On deck will be Caleb Hoover. Initially slated in the 7th spot with Sam Stevens listed as the DH, but Sam pitched yesterday. An early change for Santa Barbara. Now the 1-1. Fastball will miss away at belt height for ball 2. Clark at first, one away, no score, top of the second. Thanks for joining us on the Foresters Radio Network. Here comes the 2-1 pitch, but he'll have to wait. Check over to Brenton Clark as he is held on by the first baseman, Zach Tollerman. Clark gets back in, standing, no problem. Couple of shadows already extending onto the playing surface. First pitch at just past 6 o'clock local time. 2-1. Fly ball down the left field line, long run for Suzuki, and the left fielder can't make the play and takes a weird bounce into foul ground from first base. Brenton Clark is being waved home. It's a good throw, and the play at the plate's going to be close. Safe. Brenton Clark goes first all the way to home. Down to second base goes Sawyer Farr. As that ball off the switch hitter was slicing down the left field line, bounced in front of the left fielder for what looked like a harmless single, and then all the spin on the baseball rolled that ball like a cue ball down to the left field wall, directly away from the left fielder who was charging in, and that opened up all the space and time for Brenton Clark to come from first all the way home, and Santa Barbara now have a 1-0 lead, just a single out. It'll be interesting to see how Sawyer Farr is scored, if it's a double or a single. But Sawyer is aboard, bringing home the first run of the game, 1-0. Sturs on top. And now here comes the manager now talking with the first base umpire, Dean Traynor. Because initially listed on the lineup card was Sam Stevens to hit as the DH. And coming to the plate is Caleb Hoover. Sam Stevens, he did pitch yesterday. We talked about his fantastic numbers, what he did at McCollum High School. Just finished up his freshman year with Xavier. In high school was also a third baseman, a two-way player, but notably was documented for his pitching abilities. It'll be Hoover to start essentially as the DH. As Sawyer Farr is at second. A run in for Santa Barbara, only one out in the second inning. Eric Kividal working from the first base side of the hill. The right-hander looks to second. And fires home to Hoover. Is a fastball lined into center field. Drifting back is E.J. Royal, and Royal, long run, makes the squeeze right in front of the warning track, but tagging from second and going to third is Sawyer Farr. And it's a productive out for Caleb Hoover. I initially said lined into center. It's more of a fly ball into center. That ball had a nice apex, continually rose into the center field. Royal made the play for the second out. Far advanced down to third, and that's going to bring up the number 8 batter, Addison Klepsch. 1-0 the score on top of the second inning. Here comes the pitch. It's going to be a slider missing inside to Addison. Ball 1. Klepsch bats from the right side. One of the few men. It's not a left-handed batter in this lineup. Comes the 1-0 pitch. Fastball will miss upstairs for ball 2. Should Klepsch reach? Coleman Ryan, number 9 batter, is next, but Santa Barbara have amassed a 1-0 lead with 2 out in the second. 1-0 pitch is a fastball sprayed over the first base dugout, out of the complex, and into the softball field that is to our right. 1-1. Rather, 2-1 now for Klepsch. He's hitting .308. On-base percentage of .471 this year. Here comes a 2-1 offering. And it's going to be a slider away. Ball 3. Klepsch came in yesterday for Maddox Mandino in left field. Ended up going 1 for 3. Had an RBI single in the 9th inning to make things interesting. 3-1 pitch, and a slider's located high in the zone. Full count. 1 run in. Far at third, 2 down. Eric Kividal looks to keep it a 1-0 game for the Blues. Winds up the 3-2 pitch. Slider is lifted into the grass berm on the first base side of the park and deflects off a couple feet. It remains 3-2. And the grass berm has filled in quite nicely here. Much more full compared to yesterday, the berm seating behind the stadium seats. Both the man at third, 2 down. Here comes the 3-2 pitch. Fastball is turned on down into left field. That's a base hit for Klepsch. And Addison Klepsch will make it a 2-0 ball game. Sawyer Farr from third scores the second run of the inning. 2-0 the lead for Santa Barbara, and a 2-out hit for Klepsch to keep the line moving in the second.
Batting now, number 12, Coleman Ryan.
And that's now going to bring him Coleman Ryan, the number 9 batter for the Sturs. Now playing in his second game for Santa Barbara. 1 on, 2 out, and a check over to Klepsch, who slides in hand first. Big plume of dust just kicks up in front of that first base bag. As Klepsch continues to inch out off of first base, infield straight away, as is the outfield. Awaiting the first pitch to Ryan. There goes the runner. The pitch is low, and the throw down. It's going to be close, but Klepsch slides in underneath the tag. Great jump for Madison. He has his second stolen bag of the summer. And Santa Barbara looking to tack on more. Already 2 runs in. 2 out in the top of the second. Sturs lead 2-0, and Coleman Ryan took the first pitch down in the dirt for ball 1. Comes the 1-0 delivery, squaring around to bunts down the left field. The third base line, Cumberford, the third baseman charges. No throw to first, and a bunt single from Ryan. And he has his first knock of the summer. Yesterday, Ryan was able to reach via a walk. He also had a sacrifice fly. First hit of the season. And runners will be on the corners. Klepsch advances to third. That's going to bring around the top of the order. 2 runs in and back-to-back hits with 2 down for Santa Barbara. As Charlie Caruso went out to have a quick word with the starter for San Luis Obispo Blues. But back to the top of the order. First and third, 2 down. Here comes the first pitch to Caden Miller. Have to wait and check over to first base. Miller fouled out to the catcher just in the last inning. Can Miller do some damage against Kividal? Here comes the first pitch to Caden. Fastball miss upstairs, ball 1. First and third, 2 away. Another check over to first base. Still waiting the second pitch to Miller. And with Ryan at first, yet to attempt a stolen base this summer with the Sturs. Only ran 4 times with Texas Tech this past season, was 4 for 4. But now the 1-0 pitch has popped up and behind the plate on the third base side of the field. Backing out, 1-1. Winds continuing to blow right to left, pull to pull. First baseman holding on to the runner at first. It's Coleman Ryan, and at third is Klepsch. 1-1 pitch. There goes the runner. It's a delayed takeoff, and now caught in a rundown. The throw is coming home, and now the rundown between Klepsch and third, and the plate. Klepsch will evade the tag, and going back to second base is Coleman Ryan, and the Sturs playing with fire. Ryan able to take off, trying to get the throw down to second to open up a channel home for Klepsch. Klepsch was just able to evade the tag after he was off of third base. He was caught in a rundown between third and the plate. Evaded a tag on the third base side, I should say the dugout side of third base. Evaded the tag of Cumberford to get in to third safely. So it's now second and third. And it's a 2-1 count for Caden Miller. Already 2 runs in for the Sturs. Here's the pitch. Fastball misses inside. Caruso had to slide to his right to keep the ball in play. I should say in front of him. It's now ball 3, 3-1. There's a heads-up play from the infield. Not getting so focused down at second base. You'll forget about the runner at third. But it is now 3-1 for Miller. The pitch is a slider in there for a strike. Full count. Eric Kividal under some early pressure. Had a 1-2-3 first. But a walk and 3 hits in this inning. I brought home 2 runs for Santa Barbara, and they look for more. 3-2 pitch. Swing and a miss on the high fastball, and the Sturs will leave 2 stranded in scoring position, but they bring home 2 through 1.5 Santa Barbara, a 2-0 lead over the Blues.
It's out of here. It's tough to tell whether that's another Foresters home run or one of the many flights going out of the Santa Barbara airport. With 22 daily departures and 11 direct destinations, including Chicago, Dallas, Las Vegas, San Diego, and Seattle, there's no need to drive and fly when you can take off local at the Santa Barbara airport. Prepare for a departure from the usual travel experience. Choose SBA and depart differently. A proud partner of the Santa Barbara Foresters.
Need a new copier for your office? Coastal Copy is the original copier dealer in the Tri-Counties and your authorized Kyocera dealer, offering complete sales, service, and supplies on a full line of Kyocera Task Alpha digital MFPs. And thanks to the latest in Kyocera mobile and cloud technology, we offer Kyocera's mobile print app, which allows you to access documents through your smartphone or tablet. Call us today to schedule your free assessment and quote.
You'll see a difference because we go the distance.
Call 1-800-995-8835.
Bottom of the second, and Santa Barbara now have a 2-0 lead. Brenton Clark and Sawyer Farr played the first 2 runs of this ball game. And Drew Rarick will now face 4, 5, and 6 for the Blues after seeing 3 in the first and retiring 3. 14 pitches for Rarick in that opening inning. It'll be Tollerman, Hart, and Kosei Suzuki scheduled for San Luis Obispo. And Drew Rarick, big right-hander, takes a deep breath on the first base side of the hill, and here comes the pitch. It's going to be a slider in there for a strike. 0-1. Tollerman is hitting .300 this year, but slugging .600 out of the cleanup spot for Dean Traynor. Here comes the 0-1. Fastball misses down. Good pick right out of the dirt by Chamberlain. 1-1. Rarick induced 3 groundouts in the opening inning. Already some fantastic plays from Easton Mumon down at third base. When you look at this infield, I'd say it's almost parched for water. Any batted balls, you always see a kick of dust come up. Here comes a 1-1 as a slider and fooled the batter. Wild swing for strike 2. Even though the field is watered down, could probably use more water, but this infield has to adjust for that, and batted balls can skip quickly through this quote-unquote hot infield. 1-2 pitch, and this over to third base. A two-hopper. Mumma had to back up the third baseman a couple paces, but the throw will be well in time, and Tollerman will ground out 5-3. One down in the bottom of the second. Of the first 4 outs, 3 groundouts to Easton Mumma.
For the Blues, number 40, the right fielder, Logan Hart.
Stars lead 2-0. 1 down, bases clear in the bottom of 2. And Logan Hart will stand in for the first time today. Hitting .250. Only singles so far this year for the right fielder with an on-base percentage of .400. Here's the pitch. Big swing and a miss. Late on the fastball. 0-1. Rarick looks to move quickly as the batter who bats from the left side stands back in. Already the 0-1 pitch. And another fastball, and it just clips the lower corner. Probably could have gone either way, but in favor of the pitcher for strike 2. One away and base is clear. Here comes the 0-2 pitch from Drew, and the fastball will miss in for ball 1. Now the 1-2 pitch to Logan Hart is a slider, misses down for ball 2. And Rarick, the right-hander, hails from North Dakota. I'd like to amend a statement I said in the previous inning. Plays for Texas as a Texas Longhorn. I believe I said Texas A&M, but he plays for Texas. And a proud Longhorn as he winds up a 2-2 pitch to Hart. Is a fastball on the ground to the second baseman, but it's going to be cut off by the first baseman, and the throw to the pitcher covering first base is in time. That ball was in the hole on the right-hand side of the infield, and great athletic play from Drew Rarick to cover first base as Caden Miller shifted to his right into the hole on the right side of the infield. First baseman fielded it and threw to Rarick for out number 2. First 5 retired by the starter for Santa Barbara. That's going to bring up Kosei Suzuki to bat from the right side. Santa Barbara leading 2-0, bottom of the second. Here comes the first pitch. Is a fastball, big swing and miss, strike 1. Suzuki did not play yesterday. One of the new additions to this lineup for the Blues. Here's the 0-1 pitch. Quickly down 0-2, another fastball inducing the swing, and Suzuki very late trying to catch up to that heater behind 0-2. 2 down, base is clear. Here comes the 0-2 pitch and fouls off the slider off the top of the screen and just to the right of the press box. That ball could have been a few yards to the left. Could have been coming in right where we're sitting, but it is away, and Suzuki's able to stay alive. Rarick's already ready to go. Waiting for the batter to step back in. Gets the pitch he likes from Cole Chamberlain. 0-2 pitch is going to be a slider away. Ball 1. The pitching staff for the Stars has been sensational as of late. 2 out and the base is clear. 1-2 offering. Swing and a miss on the slider. Suzuki goes down swinging. And the first punch out of the day for Rarick. Through to Santa Barbara. Have a 2-0 lead over the Blues.
Signboard being set up by second base.
Santa Barbara Airport has 5 airlines: American, Alaska, Delta Air, Southwest, and United, with 12 direct destinations from Santa Barbara to Atlanta, Dallas, Denver, Las Vegas, Oakland, Los Angeles, Salt Lake City, Portland, San Francisco, Phoenix, Seattle, and Sacramento. With 23 daily departures from Santa Barbara, SBA's newest daily service on Delta Airlines to Atlanta and Salt Lake City can ensure that you can get anywhere in the world in just one stop. SBA is proud to join over 200 airports around the world in the Hidden Disabilities Sunflower Program. Passengers with a disability can opt into the program, and in doing so, trained staff at SBA will be there to provide additional level of customer service. You can learn more at www.flysba.com. Once again, you can learn more and book your flights today from Santa Barbara at www.flysba.com.
Lee & Sons Plumbing and Heating is proud to join the Foresters family of sponsors this season. I, Conan, a third-generation owner, was proud to coach for the Foresters for several seasons. Just like the Foresters are champs on the field, Lee & Sons are champs off it. We're experts in every type of plumbing and heating service and repair, from leaks and clogs to heaters and faucets. Strike out your plumbing problems by calling us at 805-965-9586. Lee & Sons, the champions of plumbing and heating. 805-965-9586. Stir it up.
The Sturs have a 2-0 advantage over the SLO Blues onto the third inning. Eric Kivital, the starter, remains on the hill for the Blues. He will face 2, 3, 4, Kill, Muma, and Clark, scheduled for the Santa Barbara Foresters. Here comes the first pitch to TK. He will take a slider for a strike, 0-1. Terrence stands in for the second time today. First time up, grounded out to second. Here comes the 0-1. It's another slider on the outside half this time, and TK shakes his head as he falls behind 0-2. He takes a moment, stands back in, the right-handed batter against the right-handed pitcher. The 0-2 pitch. This Kill will see a fastball missing upstairs. Ball 1. Santa Barbara still on top. The Southern Division in the CCL 10-3 record. Conejo behind them at 9-5. 1-2 pitch, slider away and high. 2-2. And Conejo will be the next team that Santa Barbara faces on Friday. It'll be a home game. 4:30 first pitch, Santa Barbara High School. But all the focus right now on this game against the Blues. Here's a 2-2 swing, and fouling off of his legs was TK. Couldn't tell if that went initially into the glove of Caruso, but Kill will stay alive. Remains 2-2. Here comes another 2-2 pitch to Kill. The fastball is lined straight to the shortstop. Didn't even have to move his feet, and Kill is retired for the first out in the third. One away with the Sturs leading 2-0 top of the third. That's going to bring up Easton Muma. Easton struck out swinging in the first. When you look at Eric Kivital, the starter for the Blues' numbers, 4 innings so far this year. Walked 5, struck out 5. As the first pitch will miss away at belt height for ball 1. Easton bats from the left side, the infield straight away. 1-0 pitch. Fastball is slicing down the left field line, out of play into the Sturs dugout, but actually hits a light pole and ricochets itself into fair territory. After the big stadium light, which is located in the Foresters bullpen down the left field line. But it is now 1-1 for Easton Muma. Here comes the pitch from Kivital. Slider well away, ball 2. For Muma, finished up his sophomore year with UTRGV. Sees the next pitch. It's going to be a slider away, ball 3. As the everyday starter this past year, the El Paso, Texas native. Now see a 3-1 pitch. Rolls a fastball over to second base. Tough play for Gavin Constantine. Had a range all the way over to his left into the hole, but will make the play at first base to retire Easton Muma. 2 down in the third. And that's going to now bring up Brenton Clark, another left-handed batter against Eric Kivital. 2 away, base is clear. Sturs lead 2-0 over San Luis Obispo. Here comes the first pitch to Brenton. As Brenton see a slider away for ball 1. Clark, as he's done all year long, worked a leadoff walk in the second, came around to score the first run of the game. Here's the next pitch. It's located on the outer half, 1-1. Kivital works quick. Comes the 1-1. Slider is going to miss away at belt height to Brenton. 2-1. We mentioned Conejo at 9-5 behind Santa Barbara. Conejo was the first team to give the Sturs their first loss. Here's the next pitch. 2-1 is popped up over the third base dugout. Slices foul into the parking lot, which runs parallel down the left field line here at Sinsheimer Stadium. 2-2. The 2 down, base is clear. The 2-2 pitch to Clark is a slider away. All 3 in the count now full. And Brenton, who so far his time here at Sinsheimer Park has worked 3 walks, will now see a 3-2 pitch. Fouls back the fastball directly behind the plate. Halfway up the screen. 3-2. Clark had 2 walks yesterday. Game 1 of this series. We'll now see the next pitch, and it's in there for called strike 3. Kividal got him with the off speed. Clark will go down looking, and it's a 1-2-3 third for Eric Kividal, the starter for the Blues. Through 2.5. Santa Barbara on top 2-0 over SLO.
It's out of here. It's tough to tell whether that's another Foresters home run or one of the many flights going out of the Santa Barbara airport. With 22 daily departures and 11 direct destinations, including Chicago, Dallas, Las Vegas, San Diego, and Seattle, there's no need to drive and fly when you can take off local at the Santa Barbara airport. Prepare for a departure from the usual travel experience. Choose SBA and depart differently. A proud partner of the Santa Barbara Foresters.
Drew Rarick remains on the hill for the Sturs, and here comes the first pitch to the leadoff batter. It is fouled back over the berm, over the press box for strike 1 on Brendan Comerford. Rarick will face 7, 8, and 9 scheduled in the bottom of the third. Sturs leading 2-0 over the Blues. Righty-righty matchup. Comes the 0-1 pitch to Comerford. He will take a slider in there for a strike, 0-2. So for Rarick, just finished up his freshman year with the University of Texas. This past season, 7 innings with the Longhorns. So he winds up the 0-2 delivery. He's going to miss upstairs with the fastball, ball 1. And the right-hander from North Dakota, coming in out of high school, even in 2024, was a Gatorade Player of the Year for the entire state. Here's the 1-2 pitch, swing and a miss. Got him with the curveball, and Comerford goes down on strikes, 1 away in the third. Back-to-back strikeouts for Rarick. 1 away in the third. And he continued to go back through the record books for the man at Fargo Davies High School in 2023. Perfect game, All-American. So very fine high school career. Just finished up his first year with Texas. Here's the next pitch. And the first pitch will miss away to Charlie Caruso. Fastball for ball 1. 1 down, bases clear, Santa Barbara. 2-0 advantage over the Blues. Caruso so far this year has gone 1 for 11. There's the 1-0 pitch. Fastball will miss inside. Ball 2. Even though he has gone 1 for 11, average of under 100, on base percentage of .231. He's the number 8 batter for Dean Traynor today. He did not play in last night's contest against Santa Barbara. When on the base is clear, here's the 2-0 pitch. Swing and a miss on the slider, 2-1. Gavin Constantine will be next to face Rarick, number 9 batter. Here comes a 2-1 pitch to Caruso. Swing and a miss. Again, another slider from Rarick. And he evens the count, 2-2. The winds have settled down a little bit, blowing out towards left. And Drew looking to keep the tempo going. 2-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. Caruso is retired. Rarick has back-to-back Ks in the third and 3 straight going back to the second.
Here's number 9, the second baseman, Gavin Constantine.
Two away and the base is clear. Stirs a 2-0. Comes the first pitch to Constantine. Checks his swing. Did he lay off of it on the check down on the first base umpire? Yes, he was able to check it for ball 1. Back-to-back Ks for Rarick. And that's been a theme of Santa Barbara pitching in the last 5 contests. Here's now the 1-0. Fastball is down for ball 2. So in the last 5 games for Santa Barbara pitching, last night they struck out 13 in the 5-7 loss. Day before that, say the next 2 days before that, 15 strikeouts. Before that, 13, and then 16, averaging right around 15 Ks a game. Here's a 2-0. That's going to miss down on the slider for ball 3. Eric is now retired 3 straight via strikeout. He's retired the first 8 men he has faced, but falls behind 3-0 to Gavin Constantine. A 2 down, 3-0 pitch, and the fastball is located right down the middle, 3-1. Constantine has gone 2 for 24, average of .083, hitting under 100 this season. Here's a 3-1, swing and a miss on the fastball, full count. Well done from Rarick to get himself back into it after falling behind 3-0. Not wasting any time. 3-2 pitch, swing and a miss. Rarick strikes out the side with the high fastball, gets Constantine, and 4 straight Ks for Rarick. And he's retired the first 9 he has faced. On to the 4th. Santa Barbara on top 2-0 over the Blues.
Lee & Sons Plumbing and Heating is proud to join the Foresters family of sponsors this season. I, Conan, a third-generation owner, was proud to coach for the Foresters for several seasons. Just like the Foresters are champs on the field, Lee & Sons are champs off it. We're experts in every type of plumbing and heating service and repair, from leaks and clogs to heaters and faucets. Strike out your plumbing problems by calling us at 805-965-9586. Lee & Sons, the champions of plumbing and heating. 805-965-9586. Stir it up.
When it comes to your office equipment needs, call Coastal Copy. We're the largest independent office equipment dealership in the Tri-Counties, and as your locally owned authorized Savin dealer, Coastal Copy offers complete sales, service, and supplies on a full line of Savin digital copiers and MFPs, Savin color printers, digital duplicators, Savin wide format systems, digital presses, document management solutions, and more. That's Coastal Copy.
You'll see a difference because we go the distance.
Call 1-800-995-8835.
On to the 4th inning. The Stars will have Cole Chamberlain, Sawyer Farr, and Caleb Hoover coming up as Eric Kibidall, the starter, remains in this game as he has tossed 63 pitches so far. Santa Barbara have a 2-0 lead, pushed in 2 runs in the second. They can get themselves back in this series after dropping the first 2 ball games against the Blues. Here's the first pitch as Chamberlain will foul it back. It was a slider from Kividal. That was on the third base side of the park, into the grass berm for strike 1. Shadows getting longer. Sunset into our right here at Sinsheimer Stadium. Chamberlain today has gone 0 for 1, a fly out into right. Here's the 0-1 pitch. Fastball misses high, 1-1. And we look up into the Northern Division where the SLO Blues play in the CCL. They're right in the middle of the pack. A strong Northern Division this year in the CCL. Here comes the 1-1. Change up away, ball 2. Currently in the affiliate, the Alameda Merchants leading the way in the Northern Division at 10-4. Walnut Creek behind them at 9-5. Sonoma at 11-8. And then SLO Blues in the middle of the pack at 9-7. Here's a 2-1. Fastball will miss high for ball 3. Chamberlain leading off for Santa Barbara, Farr, and then Hoover scheduled in this inning. 3 lefties. Here's a 3-1 pitch. Swing and a miss on the high fastball, full count. I should say 2 lefties, then a switch hitter who will bat from the left side. In the form of Sawyer Farr, who will be hitting next. Sturs lead 2-0, top of the 4th. Kividal winds up the 3-2 pitch. Lined into center field off the bat of Chamberlain. Drifting back is Royal and can't make the squeeze over his shoulder. And Cole Chamberlain will cruise into second base. That ball continued to rise and drive into center field. Royal tried to catch it like a receiver in center field, but over his head, and Chamberlain has a lead-off double for Santa Barbara. And off the bat, that was at 103 miles an hour off the barrel of Cole Chamberlain. As his first hit of the evening, a leadoff double to give way to Sawyer Farr, who's already got an RBI single today. Rather, it was a double. Give him 2 bases. Here's the pitch, and Sawyer will take a slider down. That is ball 1. Santa Barbara looked to tack on more runs, pushed in 2 in the second, and they have that 2-run cushion. Sawyer Farr brought home his 14th run of the season. Now the 1-0. It's another slider missing down from Eric Kividal. 2-0. A few guys warming up down in that Blues bullpen, just stretching and loosening up the arm. As Kividal tossed 63 pitches through 3. Gives up the leadoff double, and now the 2-0 to Farr, who sprays over the third base dugout. Out of play. Strike 1. And Rarick, through 3, has pitched 43, has thrown 43 pitches. Solid first time through the order for the Santa Barbara starter. But right now for Sawyer Farr, sees the 2-1 pitch on the ground right side. Here comes Constantine, ranges over to his left, retires Farr at first base. But a productive out for Sawyer Farr, advances Chamberlain to third. Now 1 down in the 4th. Essentially a sacrifice for the switch hitter. And that's going to bring up the DH, Caleb Hoover. Remember, initially on the lineup card, Sam Stevens, a relief pitcher who threw yesterday, was listed as a DH, but Caleb Hoover entered in the second inning to hit for the first time. Man at third, 1 out. Here's the first pitch. It's going to be a slider in at the knees in the zone for strike 1. Chamberlain at third. Can Santa Barbara make it a 3-run game in the 4th? Here's the 0-1. Sprayed over the third base dugout. Into the parking lot off the bat of Hoover for strike 2. The infield is playing in. All the way across, right on the junction between the dirt and the infield grass. But Hoover now falls behind 0-2. Here comes the pitch. Fastball high, ball 1. Chamberlain had a leadoff double, exit velo of 103, dead away into center field. Center field is 395 straight away. Now the 1-2 pitch to Hoover. Fly ball in the left center field. Long run for Suzuki, and it is over his glove. Cruising to second base goes Hoover, and he's going to bring home Cole Chamberlain. RBI double for Caleb Hoover, and Santa Barbara now have a 3-0 lead in the fourth. Cole Chamberlain plates the third run of the day. And now we've had 3 runs batted in today, and these RBI brought to us by our friends at Gold's Gym. Thank you to Gold's for sponsoring those runs batted in, as Gold's has 3 locations in Santa Barbara where the Forsters train to win. Gold's Gym. So 1 run in, 1 down, and a man at second for now Addison Klepsch. 3-0 the Santa Barbara lead. Eric Kibidall now throw the first pitch to Addison. It's a slider in there for a strike, 0-1. There are now men up tossing for the SLO Blues. And Kibidall gave up 2 runs in the second, has given up 1 in the fourth. Santa Barbara looked to tack on. Here's the 0-1 delivery. Klepsch will foul off the slider off the mask of the catcher Caruso, 0-2. What Bill Pintard said to his unit yesterday after the 5-7 loss, they had the tying run on base, go-ahead run at the plate, top of the 9th. He was still pleased with what his team did, said, hey, good effort today. Let's get back in the saddle tomorrow. That is exactly what Santa Barbara has done. Great start for Drew Rarick. He continues to throw in this game. Already a 3-0 lead, top of the fourth, just 1 out. 0-2 pitch to Klepsch, and he bounces this one over to Constantine. The second baseman takes a funky hop. It's over the second baseman's head, and from second base, Caleb Hoover will score with ease. No play at the plate. It is now a 4-0 lead for Santa Barbara. It looked like a routine chop ball to second base, but we've mentioned this infield dirt. That ball just took a bounce 10 feet probably into the air, and Constantine tried to jump. No chance, and Klepsch will pick up a base hit and RBI to score Caleb Hoover. 4-0 now the score. 6 hits for the Sturs, just through 3 1/3. That's going to now bring up Coleman Ryan. 2 runs in, a man at first, only a single out. 4-0 the Santa Barbara lead. Ryan, one of the few men to bat from the right side, sees the first pitch, chops it down the left field line, out of play, and foul for strike 1. Coleman Ryan had a bunt single down the third base line. Cumberford is pinching a fraction the third baseman for the Blues. One on, 1 out, 2 runs in, and Coleman Ryan, by the way, that bunt single, first hit of the summer for the shortstop, playing in his second game with Santa Barbara. Check to the man at first base. Tollerman holds on to him as Klepsch slides in head first. He did have a stolen base back in the second, his second of the season. Give it all from the first base side of the hill. Another check to the runner. From the right side, Coleman Ryan's only seen a single pitch. It was a strike. There goes the runner. It's the 0-1 pitch. Is in there for a strike. Play down to second base. The ball will skip past the second baseman into center field. Klepsch in safely. He remains at second. And the second stolen base of the day for Klepsch to get himself into scoring position. And now Addy, 3 for 3 this season. Coleman Ryan took a strike. He's now down in the count, 0-2. Look to second. Here comes the 0-2 pitch. There's a slider up the middle. It's a tough play for the shortstop, but it gets through. It's a base hit from second base. Klepsch is coming home. No throw from the outfield, and it's an RBI single for Coleman Ryan. And Santa Barbara have now taken a 5-0 lead in the fourth. Fourth hit of the inning and 3 straight knocks for the Sturs and 3 straight RBIs. Then here comes Dean Traynor. There's been an arm getting hot down in the Blues bullpen. Is this the day for the starter for the SLO Blues? The top of the order is coming to the plate in the form of Caden Miller. 5-0 now the lead for Santa Barbara.
Gate you came in. Blues baseball is brought to you by In-House Security. Hunter Smith Architecture.
Cole Chamberlain started off this inning with a double. Hoover followed up with a double. Klepsch an RBI single. Coleman, he's now 2 for 2 at first base with an RBI. And it looks like it's going to remain with Eric Kividall. Trying to look for a ground ball with a man at first base, just 1 out. 3 runs in for the Sturs in the 4th.
Play resumes at the plate, top of the order, number 4, Caden Miller.
3 runs in, 5-0 now the lead, top of the 4th. And at first, 1 down. Here's the pitch. It's popped up and back into the seats. No play for the catcher. And that ball will bound onto the berm right in front of where we're sitting. Strike 1. And a mad dash for that foul ball. With all the young fans in attendance. And Sinsheimer Stadium has filled in very nicely. A much more full berm here this evening compared to last night. Now the 0-1 pitch to Caden Miller. On its way, it's a fastball popped up. This one looks to stay in the yard. A chance for the infield. Brendan Comerford will move in down the third base line. It's the third baseman to make the squeeze. There is the second out of the inning. Comerford retires Miller on the pop-up. 2 down in the 4th. And that will now bring up Terrence Kill the second. Coleman Ryan remains at first after bringing home the 3rd run of the inning. 5-0 the Forster lead. Remember, the Sturs trailed 6-0 through 2 yesterday. Much different story here tonight. Remember, Bill Pintar was very pleased with what Santa Barbara did yesterday. Kept themselves in this game. So there's been a couple checks over from Kividall to the man at first base. Twice, actually, and Coleman Ryan slid in headfirst on both occasions. First pitch now to TK. Slider away for ball 1. Kill has grounded out to second so far today, and the line out to short. Stands in for the 3rd time. Here comes the 1-0 pitch. Runner's going to take off. It's a base hit in a right field from first base. Going to third is Coleman Ryan. And Terrence Kill has his first hit of the day. That is the 5th hit of the inning for Santa Barbara. Ryan goes first to third to put runners on the corners for Easton Mumaw. 3 runs in the 4th, 5-0 the Forster lead. Mumaw today has gone 0 for 2, but runners on the corners, 2 away. Kividall lines up the first pitch. Runner will take off from first to second. It was Kill, but the pitch was fouled off into the Forster bullpen down the left field line for strike 1 on Easton. You have to imagine if Kividall cannot retire Mumaw, that's going to be it for him. Trying to get out of the 4th inning. Runners on the corners, 0-1 pitch, swing and a miss on the slider. And Easton falls behind 0-2. The infield shadows getting longer here at Sinsheimer Stadium. The mound completely under a shade of a pine tree beyond the right field dugout, the first base dugout rather. First and third, 2 down, 0-2 pitch is softly hit in the left field. Out there is Suzuki, doesn't have to move. It'll be a fly out into left to retire the side. But Santa Barbara push home 3 in the 4th. Go to the bottom of the inning. Santa Barbara now have a 5-0 lead over the Blues. Santa Barbara Airport has 5 airlines: American, Alaska, Delta Air, Southwest, and United, with 12 direct destinations from Santa Barbara to Atlanta, Dallas, Denver, Las Vegas, Oakland, Los Angeles, Salt Lake City, Portland, San Francisco, Phoenix, Seattle, and Sacramento, With 23 daily departures from Santa Barbara, SBA's newest daily service on Delta Airlines to Atlanta and Salt Lake City can ensure that you can get anywhere in the world in just one stop. SBA is proud to join over 200 airports around the world in the Hidden Disabilities Sunflower Program. Passengers with a disability can opt into the program, and in doing so, trained staff at SBA will be there to provide additional level of customer service. You can learn more at www.flysba.com. Once again, you can learn more and book your flights today from Santa Barbara at www.flysba.com. Bottom of the fourth inning. Santa Barbara a 5-0 lead over the rivals, the SLO Blues, and Drew Rarick has tossed 43 pitches through the first three. He will face the top of the order, Royal Ardois Ashlock, scheduled in the bottom of four. Here comes the first pitch to E.J. Royal, and fastball's on the inside edge for strike one. Rarick has 4 straight strikeouts going back to the end of the second inning. He has been wheeling and dealing. 0-1 pitch. It's a fastball down, 1-1. And whenever Rarick will finish his outing, the way he's gone, might be in a couple innings' time. Here is the 1-1 to the leadoff man. Fastball is fouled back behind the plate, strike two. We were informed Jaden Barfield, the lone lefty available today, would be the first man out of the bullpen. Then depending how this game goes, Easton Toomas, then maybe Steele Eves, who seeks his Foresters debut. But now the 1-2 pitch to E.J. Royal. He will foul it back. Remains 1-2. And if the Stars continue to put up zeros in the bottom half of innings and played a couple more runs, you might go to some different guys just to eat up some innings in low leverage situations. But now the 1-2 pitch to the leadoff man Royal is a slider in and over the head of the third baseman. It's a base hit. The first base runner of the day and the first hit for San Luis Obispo comes in the leadoff fashion for E.J. Royal to start off the bottom of the fourth. Drew Rarick saw 9 and retired 9 straight. Perfect first 3 innings. And the first base runner against him to start off the fourth. So E.J. Royal aboard. 5-0 the lead for Santa Barbara. We're in the bottom of the fourth inning. Here's Sam Ardois. The first pitch is a fastball right down the chute. 0-1. Rarick continuing to play with the quick tempo on the bump. Bit of a longer hold now. And we'll fire home the 0-1 pitch. It's a fastball down in the dirt. Chamberlain covers it. It was right underneath his leg. Sprung up right away. Couldn't quite locate where that ball was, but it was right underneath him. He finds it. And the runner at first holds. Santa Barbara put up 2 runs in the second, 3 runs in the fourth. E.J. Royal, 6 for 6 in stolen bases this year. Wouldn't be surprised to see him run at some point. Here's the 1-1. The runner goes. It's down the dirt for strike 2. The throw down to second is close, and they got him. Caught stealing E.J. Royal the first time he's been gunned down this season. Great throw from Cole Chamberlain, and that will eliminate the leadoff single. 1 down in the fourth. And here comes the manager, Dean Traynor. Strolls his way out of the first base dugout and likely not too happy with the play down at second base. The throw from Chamberlain was more on the first base side of the second base bag. And he talks with the bases umpire on the left side of the infield about the call. But Royal, who was perfect, 6 for 6, he's now 6 for 7 in the running game this season. After breaking up, perfect game in the no-hitter. after Rarick was perfect through the first three.
Mid-state fair.
And still the conversation ensues with the manager and third base umpire.
All sponsors.
I say third base umpire with a three-man crew. The left side, the infield umpire, might be a better description. And still, Dean Traynor pleading his case a third of the way down the line. And now the plate umpire slowly eases his way into the conversation. And the bases umpire turns away, and Traynor still looks like he's not happy and now talks with the plate umpire. Still searching for someone to plead his grievances to. And now the manager for the Blues will retreat back to the first base dugout. Base is clear. One down after Royal was caught stealing, and Ardois at a 1-2 count. And remember, at the end of last night's game, there was some conversation, so to speak, between these two teams as they were coming out of their respective dugouts. We'll get to that in a moment. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Check swing. Looked like he went around. No, he did not. On the slider from Drew Rarick. It's now 2-2. It's very close for Sam Ardois, just able to lay off of it, but it's been relatively benign so far. And we know from past experience that these two teams, it's called the rivalry for a reason. The Stars currently on top, 5-0. Here's the 2-2 pitch, and it's going to miss upstairs. On the curveball from Rarick, full count. Ardois fell behind. Count now full, one away, base is clear. Here comes a 3-2 pitch. Swing and a miss on the slider. 2 down in the fourth. Fifth punch out of the day for Drew Rarick. And that's going to bring up Mason Ashlock. Ashlock ground up to third. Actually, the first of the first 4 outs, 3 of which were ground outs to Easton Mumon down at the hot corner. Ashlock bats from the right side. Here's the first pitch. It's a breaking ball in there for a strike, 0-1. Two down. Stars lead 5-0. Here comes the 0-1 pitch as Ashlock has a big rip at the fastball, and he quickly falls behind 0-2. This inning started with a base hit in left. Royal thrown out at second, caught stealing. Now 2 down, base is clear, 0-2 pitch. In there, called strike 3. Ashlock goes down looking, and Drew Rarick picks up his 6th punch out of the day. Gets Ashlock looking, and through 4, Santa Barbara have a 5-0 lead over the Blues.
Lee & Sons Plumbing and Heating is proud to join the Foresters family of sponsors this season. I, Conan, a third-generation owner, was proud to coach for the Foresters for several seasons. Just like the Foresters are champs on the field, Lee & Sons are champs off it. We're experts in every type of plumbing and heating service and repair, from leaks and clogs to heaters and faucets. Strike out your plumbing problems by calling us at 805-965-9586. Lee & Sons, the champions of plumbing and heating. 805-965-9586. Stir it up.
When it comes to your office equipment needs, call Coastal Copy. We're the largest independent office equipment dealership in the Tri-Counties, and as your locally owned authorized Savin dealer, Coastal Copy offers complete sales, service, and supplies on a full line of Savin digital copiers and MFPs, Savin color printers, digital duplicators, Savin wide format systems, digital presses, document management solutions, and more. That's Coastal Copy.
You'll see a difference because we go the distance.
Call 1-800-995-8835.
The Blues pitching change.
Now in the fifth inning, and the Stars lead 5-0 over the Slow Blues in this fifth inning. Brought to us by our friends at Finney's Craft House. Finney's now has 2 locations in Santa Barbara, one on Lower State Street and one in Goleta. Finney's is a great place to gather before or after any Foresters game. Finney's Craft House. There's a new arm for the Slow Blues. Wyatt Fisher, the right-hander, will take over. He will face 4, 5, and 6 for Santa Barbara's schedule, top of 5. So Brenton Clark to lead off to bat from the left side against the new right-handed reliever. Here comes the first pitch. It's going to look like a curveball missing well high for ball 1. So far this year for Fisher, 3 2/3. 4 hits and 4 runs. He has walked 4 and only struck out 1 so far this season. Here's the 1-0 pitch. Big swing and miss on a fastball. Clark was late on it. Evens the count at 1. Ball and a strike to the leadoff man. And here comes the pitch. It's going to be a slider rifled on top of the third base dugout onto the screen and ricochets its way onto the left field chalk line for strike 2. This is the third appearance for the right-hander for the Slow Blues. And the final line for Eric Kividal, 4 innings, 8 hits, 5 runs, all earned, 1 walk, and 3 Ks. And he's on the hook for the loss if the Stars maintain this 5-run advantage. It's now a 1-2 count for the leadoff man. Here's the pitch to Clark, and it's down inside a slider and a big follow-through for Wyatt Fisher. When he plants his foot on the release point, kind of slings the rest of his body around. But he missed for ball 2. Clark today has a walk and a strikeout and also a run scored. Here comes the 2-2 pitch, and it's in there, called strike 3. The slider bends its way in, and Clark will go down looking, 1 away in the 5th. First strikeout of the day for Wyatt Fisher, striking out the first man he faces, and that's going to bring up Cole Chamberlain. Chamberlain's had a nice series so far against the Blues. Game 1. 2-run single in the opening inning. And yesterday worked 2 walks, had an RBI single, scored 2 runs, and already is a base hit today. Here's the first pitch. It's the changeup for a strike. And I shouldn't say a base hit. Good for 2 bases. A leadoff double in the 4th inning. A 103 exit velo. And a straightaway shot falling right at the warning track in the deepest portion of this ballpark. A base is clear, 1 down. Here's the 0-1 pitch to Chamberlain. Change up away for ball 1. Santa Barbara, a 5-0 lead. 2 runs in the 2nd, 3 in the 4th. And Drew Rarick has been dealing the starting pitcher. Struck out 6, only allowed a single hit, 1 base runner through 4 innings. Wyatt Fisher, the first man out of the pen for the Blues, winds up the 1-1 pitch, and the breaking ball will miss down. Charlie Caruso tried to drag it into the zone, 2-1. To follow Chamberlain will be Sawyer Farr. In front of a nice home crowd for the San Luis Obispo Blues. Always draw a big crowd here at Sinsheimer Stadium. 2-1 as the pitch will miss down for ball 3. And at this point, you could probably say a third of the field now encompassed by shadows being casted from the first base side of the park. Approaching 7:30 local time. 1 down, base is clear. 3-1 the delivery. Slider big, swing and a miss from Chamberlain. Full count. The Stars playing in their first 15th game of the season. 10-3 record unofficially. Still need to finish up the game against Arroyo Seco, which was postponed. But now the payoff pitch to Chamberlain. That's going to miss down and away, and Chamberlain is aboard with 1 out in the 5th via a walk. He reaches for the 2nd time today. That will now bring up Sawyer Farr. Stars lead 5-0, top of the 5th. We've mentioned that game, the Arroyo Seco game that got postponed due to the lights being turned off in Pasadena via a city ordinance. Game that started just past 6:15 local time. Had to be postponed at 10 o'clock, so a very long game. That was on the 10th. Here's the first pitch to Sawyer. The switch hitter batted from the left side will take down as he was showing bunt. Cumberford, the third baseman, has pinched in. We'll see what Sawyer goes to here if he squares around. Chamberlain is at first. 1-0 the count. Here's the pitch. No bunt this time. Slider high, ball 2. But Santa Barbara, when they had bus difficulties back on the 17th, they were supposed to go down to Orange County to play the Riptide. That game got rescheduled to the 30th. So on Monday, Santa Barbara, instead of having an off day, will now reschedule and play a makeup game against Orange County. Here's a 2-0 as fastball is down for ball 3. Not only having to play that makeup game, but having to go down to Orange County on the day that you're supposed to have off. So things are going to get long for Santa Barbara after the rest day tomorrow. They'll be playing 10 straight games from the 27th to the 6th of June. But with 1 out, 1 on, here comes a 3-0 pitch to Farr, and the slider is located on the outer half for strike 1 from Wyatt Fisher. And that's going to really test Santa Barbara. They've been playing a decent amount of games, and of course last week had 5 straight, and you have to keep your bodies healthy. Not always accustomed to playing. Even in college, you play a 3-game series, maybe a midweek as well. Much different animal. Here's a 3-1, and the slider's in there for a strike, and well done from Fisher. Falling behind 3-0 to Farr. Gets himself back in the count, now 3-2. Chamberlain at first after a 1-out walk. Santa Barbara lead 5-0. And here comes a payoff pitch. And now time being called by Sawyer. And the plate umpire, not too sure on what happened. He calls time and almost looks confused on the time being called. But Farr, the switch hitter, bats from the left side, stands back in. 1 on, 1 out, 3-2 pitch is rolled down the first baseline. A chance for 2, but Tollerman will just collect the first baseman, goes to first to ensure the second out. Chamberlain does advance, and Sawyer Farr, a productive second out. 2 down in the 5th. That's going to bring up the DH, Caleb Hoover.
14.
He's 1 for 2 today, a fly out to center, an RBI double in the 4th, and a run scored as well for Caleb. Big 4th inning for Santa Barbara, pushing in 3 runs. And Caleb has a man sitting out at second base. It's Chamberlain. Here comes the pitch from Fisher to Hoover. First pitch will miss upstairs for ball 1. Winds continue to meander their way out from pole to pole, right to left. Not as strong as they were last night. Just more of a casual breeze versus a stiff breeze. Here's the 1-0 pitch to Caleb, and the slider's down. And Caruso's been working hard behind the plate. Had to cover that one up. 2-0. And this lefty-dominant lineup for Santa Barbara. Against this right-hander reliever, Wyatt Fisher. He delivers a 2-0 pitch, and it's going to miss down and away for ball 3. And in case you're wondering, Jaden Barfield is warming up, the left-handed reliever for Santa Barbara in their bullpen. So we'll see if Rarick will go back out, try to get through 5. 2 out, man at second. 3-0 pitch is going to miss upstairs for ball 4, and a 4-pitch 2-out walk for Caleb Hoover. He's aboard for the second time today. Charlie Caruso will go out to the hill to have a word with Fisher. But bringing to the plate now will be Addison Klepp. She has a chat with Hoover about line of attack on Fisher. And Klepp has a base hit in the left and a base hit in the right center. 2 runs batted in today for the left fielder. And he's had a big impact since coming up here to SLO. He's gone 3 for 5 going back to the game last night with 3 runs batted in and 2 stolen bases as well. So he's been seeing the wall well here in SLO. First pitch is a slider missing high, ball 1. Over at first, Chamberlain second. 2 down in the Finneys' 5th inning. Stars have a 5-0 lead. Here comes a 1-0 pitch to Klepsch. The delivery is down the right field line, slicing over the heads of the relief pitchers for the SLO Blues. 1-1. Let's continue the conversation, the line of thought on the Santa Barbara Foresters playing 10 straight games. It's a whole nother animal with the arms you're using, making sure all your position players stay healthy and you don't grind them into a pulp playing that many games in a straight. Here's a 1-1, and it's foul off down the right field line. Slicing, hit pretty hard, but slices well foul outside of the right field line for strike 2. Even at the end of last week, some of the players during batting practice saying, feeling a little bit tired just playing in the 5th game of the week. Even if you love baseball and you love showing up to the yard every day, it does take a toll. You haven't been playing as much this past year with college, and even if you have been, it's a little bit of adjustment. You just played 15 games, starting to finally find your rhythm this season. First and second, 2 down, 1-2 pitch. Sliders in the dirt. Off of second base was Chamberlain. He was almost halfway down to third base, retreats back to second. This was a good cover from Caruso, the catcher. It is now 2-2. Addison Klepsch, who is 2 for 2 today. 2 singles for the left fielder. It's at a 2-2 count. And Fisher looks to second. And the 2-2 to Klepsch is a slider in the air to left field. It's the line to Suzuki, long run, and it is at the base of the wall. From second base, Chamberlain will score. From first base, Hoover's getting waved home. The play at the plate's going to be close. Not in time. Klepsch down to second. There's a play down to second base now as he tried to get to third. Retreats back to second. And it's a 2-run double for Addison Klepsch. Give him 4 RBIs, and he is now 3 for 3. And Santa Barbara now leads 7-0 in the 5th. Wow. Addison Klepsch. Shot out of a cannon today and yesterday. He's now got 4 hits. When he came in last night for Maddox Mandino, he pinched hit in the 6th inning. He struck out twice, then an RBI single. And he's now brought home 4 runs today with 3 hits. That ball was hit hard. It was at the base of the wall. No chance for the left fielder. And that's going to bring up Coleman Ryan. 2 down, man at second. Here's the pitch. Slider will miss inside for ball 1. Two runs in this inning. After 2 runs in the second, 3 runs in the 4th. Fisher looks to second. Here's the 1-0 pitch. Is a slider. Finds the upper half of the zone. 1-1. In this inning, there have been 2 walks. And that cost Fisher. After Klepsch clears the bases, and Caleb Hoover from first comes all the way home. That's how far that ball is down into the corner. And Suzuki, not the cleanest field down in left, but now the 1-1. Fastball's in there for strike 2 on Coleman Ryan. You've been so focused on Ashton Klepsch, you can't discount or shortchange what Coleman Ryan has done today. He's also 2 for 2. He had a bunt single, then an RBI single into center field. So Ryan is playing in his 2nd game, picking up his 1st and 2nd hits of the summer. 2 down, man at second. And here comes a 1-2 pitch to Ryan. It's a fastball, misses inside. A little bit of a bobble from the catcher. And Klepsch was halfway to third base, retreats back. No play down at second. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Just in top of the 5th inning, 7-0, the Santa Barbara lead. In front of this nice crowd, Slimsheimer Stadium, they have gone relatively quiet. 2-2 pitch to Ryan. Fouls it off over the first base dugout, out of the entire complex. Into the softball field to our right, where it looks like there's a game going on. Might have to make a correction. Might not be a softball field or just a Little League baseball field. Can't tell. But regardless, not the standard dimension park to our right. Man at second, 2 runs in, 2 down in the 5th. 7-run lead for Santa Barbara. Here comes the 2-2 to the number 9 batter, Ryan. He takes a curveball. He had a duck underneath it. That ball went over his head. Full count. On deck is Caden Miller, top of the order for Santa Barbara. With 2 down. Count full. Klepsch at second base. He will be on the move. 3-2 pitch is going to miss upstairs for ball 4. And Coleman Ryan works a 2-out walk. Last 3 batters all reaching base for Santa Barbara to bring up the top of the order, and Caden Miller. Remember, we are in the 5th inning, brought to us by our friends at Finney's Craft House. But here is Miller, hitting in the top spot today, so one of the bigger changes for Bill Pintard. And Dino having the day off. First pitch is a slider to the lefty batter. It's going to miss away, ball 1. Likely could have gone either way on the call. We'll call the ball. Miller today is a foul out, a strikeout swinging, and a pop up to third. Actually, the foul out was to the catcher. A lot of real estate and foul ground behind the plate here at Sinsheimer Stadium. First and second, 2 down. Here's the 1-0 pitch. Runners go. The throw down to second, but no one was covering second, so the catcher has to hold on to the ball. He was going to pump down to second, but Ardwalin Constantine, the shortstop and second baseman, didn't even move in to cover second base, and a double steal for Santa Barbara trying to tack on. Klepsch has his 3rd stolen base of the day, and Ryan has his first of the summer. Here comes a 2-0 pitch, a broken bat, flare single, and going back and making the catch to Constantine. I should say it flared up into shallow right, and Constantine, a good play going back at second base to make the play to retire Caden Miller. But Santa Barbara tack on 2 more in the 5th. Through 4.5, Santa Barbara leads 7-0 over the Blues. Santa Barbara Airport has 5 airlines: American, Alaska, Delta Air, Southwest, and United, with 12 direct destinations from Santa Barbara to Atlanta, Dallas, Denver, Las Vegas, Oakland, Los Angeles, Salt Lake City, Portland, San Francisco, Phoenix, Seattle, and Sacramento. With 23 daily departures from Santa Barbara, SBA's newest daily service on Delta Airlines to Atlanta and Salt Lake City can ensure that you can get anywhere in the world in just one stop. SBA is proud to join over 200 airports around the world in the Hidden Disabilities Sunflower Program. Passengers with a disability can opt into the program, and in doing so, trained staff at SBA will be there to provide additional level of customer service. You can learn more at www.flysba.com. Once again, you can learn more and book your flights today from Santa Barbara at www.flysba.com. On to the bottom of the 5th inning, brought to us by our friends at Finney's Craft House. Thanks for Finney's Craft House to sponsoring this 5th inning. Drew Rarick remains in the ball game and winds up the first pitch to the leadoff batter. The slider's going to miss upstairs for ball 1. Rarick will face 4, 5, and 6. The only man to reach base against Rarick today was E.J. Royal, a base hit in the left, and then was thrown out at second, caught stealing. Comes the 1-0 to Tollerman. Swing and a miss on the slider, 1-1, and that ball was tipped back into Cole Chamberlain, the catcher, and the plate umpire is going to give him a moment. Looked like he took it in the stomach or somewhere in that area. It's 1-1. There was a defensive change being made in this inning. Maddox Mandino is now in at right for Brenton Clark. Mandino will hit out of the 4 spot, and he will be scheduled in the 6th inning to be the 3rd batter. But Drew Rarick has now tossed 59 pitches through 4. He was at 56. 6 strikeouts, only a single base runner against him. Look to try to get through 5, get in line for the win. The Stars lead 7-0, bottom of the 5th. Here comes the 1-1 to Tollerman. Fastball is fouled up and out of the entire complex. Strike 2.
Little League area.
Tollerman today, ground out to 3rd. Easton Muma has made some nice plays down at the hot corner for the Stars. As Rarick shakes off a couple from Chamberlain. And will now wheel the 1-2 pitch, and slider will miss high. Rarick thought he had called strike 3. Has a little bit of a hop on the hill, but instead it's now 2-2. Tollerman, Hart, and then Suzuki for the Blues. Here comes the 2-2 pitch. The fastball is fouled back behind the plate, halfway up the screen. 2 balls, 2 strikes to the leadoff man. Infield straight away, as is the outfield. Now about half the playing surface now encompassed by shadows here at Sinsheimer Park. 2-2 pitch to Tollerman. Sliders, a fly ball into center. Terrence Kill has to long run to move in, and that ball's going to fall right in front of Kill. And it's going to be a lead-off single. Coleman Ryan converged, the shortstop going back. And Kill tried to lay out hands first, trying to make the play. But that's going to go down as the second hit of the day for the Blues. Leadoff single for Tollerman. Here comes Bill Pintard out of the 3rd base dugout. We did say in the last inning we saw Jaden Barfield tossing for Santa Barbara, and that looks like it's going to be it for Rarick. Barfield's coming in out of the pen, and Drew Rarick, a phenomenal outing. His day will be complete. He will go 4+, allow 2 hits, no runs, will be responsible for the man at first base, and striking out 6. The new lefty, Barfield, coming in out of the pen. He'll inherit a runner. He's going to face Hart after this from San Luis Obispo.
Lee & Sons Plumbing and Heating is proud to join the Foresters family of sponsors this season. I, Conan, a 3rd-generation owner, was proud to coach for the Foresters for several seasons. Just like the Foresters are champs on the field, Lee & Sons are champs off it. We're experts in every type of plumbing and heating service and repair, from leaks and clogs to heaters and faucets. Strike out your plumbing problems by calling us at 805-965-9586. Lee & Sons, the champions of plumbing and heating. 805-965-9586. Stir it up.
Welcome back to San Luis Obispo with the Foresters leading 7-0 over the Blues. Drew Rarick, his day complete. And Jaden Barfield will now take over, the lefty reliever, the only lefty available today for Santa Barbara. He will face Logan Hart with Zach Tollerman at first base after his flare single in the shallow left. Here comes the first pitch on the lefty-lefty matchup. Will miss down low for ball 1. So far this season for Jaden, it's going to be his third appearance. Through 4 2/3, he has struck out 7 and has not walked anybody. And no hits allowed by the lefty reliever. Here's a 1-0 pitch. It's a slider, swing and a miss. 1-1. Drew Rarick, in his day, going 4+, 2 hits, responsible for the man at first base. No walks and 6 strikeouts. Fantastic work from Drew in his third start. Comes the 1-1 pitch, and it's going to miss down low. Good cover by Chamberlain. Ball 2. Tollerman now at first. No attempted stolen bases so far this season. Just 2 hits for the Blues through 4 innings. 2-1. And the fastball blazes past Hart. 2-2. Good delivery from Jaden. Hart today ground out 3-1 on a nice play between Miller and Drew Rarick. That occurred in the second, now batting for just the second time. Here comes the 2-2 pitch. Slider in there, called strike 3, and Hart will go down looking. 1 out in the 5th. The front door slider from Barfield. And through just 5 innings, the 8th strikeout of the season for Jaden. And that's now going to bring up Kosei Suzuki. 1 on, 1 out. Bottom of the 5th, Sturs lead 7-0. Suzuki has struck out today. Here comes the first pitch. Suzuki bats from the right side. Will take a slider away for ball number 1. Tollerman remains at first. 1 down, bottom of the 5th. Temperature starting to drop off just a little bit. Here comes a 1-0. The slider bends its way in for strike 1. It is worth to note, yesterday when the team showed up, pretty hot day and then drastically cooled off, a game that went 3.5 hours. And ended at 9:32 local time. I already just feel, even when the team showed up today, not nearly as hot. Here comes a 1-1. It's a fastball lined into left. Tough read for Klepsch, and it is over his head and going to the wall. From first base, Tollerman is getting waved home. Klepsch collects in left field, and holding at second is Tollerman. And from first base, Tollerman will come in to score the first run of the day for the Blues. Kosei Suzuki, RBI double. That ball's just over the glove of Klepsch left. And he was also having to fight the sun out there in the Sun Garden. But an RBI double for Kosei Suzuki to bring home the first run of the day for the Blues. 7-1 the score. That run will be charged to Drew Rarick. But now Brendan Comerford to stand in against the lefty Barfield. Here's the pitch. Fastball's fly ball into left center field. Terrence Kill slides over into the gap in the left, makes the squeeze, 2 out. Runner holds at second. And a big second out for Jaden Barfield. On the fly out to TK in center. And that's going to bring up Charlie Caruso. A run in, man at second, 2 down for the catcher, who's gone 0 for 3 today. I should say, standing in for the second time. He struck out, he's 0 for 1, which came in the 3rd inning. So that 3 got into my mind, came in the 3rd inning, but he struck out swinging against Rarick. Here's the first pitch. It's a slider, located perfectly from Barfield, 0-1. A lefty-lefty matchup in that slider from Barfield. If you're a left-handed batter, good luck. It's coming right at you and then bends its way in the front door. Barfield looks to second. Here comes the 0-1 pitch to Caruso. And time was being called. The pitch was released by Barfield. That ball was skied over everyone at the plate. He tried to hold off on it, so time was called. Barfield started his release, and that ball was thrown into the screen from Jaden. Actually hit halfway up behind the plate in the screen. So time was called, and that pitch was null and void. It remains 0-1 for Caruso. Here's the pitch. It's that slider, nearly hits him, and it actually did hit him to put him on first. So a 2-out. Caruso is aboard for the first time after getting hit by a pitch.
Ouch, that looks like it hurt. This hit by a pitch brought to you by AltaOrthopedics.com. Got hurt? Call them.
Here comes Bill Pintard saying, I don't know to say if that ball actually hit Caruso, but he's talking with the plate umpire. And you have to remember, San Luis Obispo had a 7-0 lead through 6 innings last night. In the 7th, the Stars plated 3 runs, and all the way in the 9th inning ended up having the tying run on base. So even though Santa Barbara entered this inning leading 7-0, these two teams, rivals, you can never count each other out. 1 run is scored in the bottom of the 5th for the Blues. It is 1st and 2nd for the number 9 batter, Gavin Constantine. Here comes the first pitch. Fastball will miss away from Barfield, ball 1. Easton Tumis, the right-hander, is tossing for Santa Barbara. Barfield took over this inning for Drew Rarick. Looks to second, and will fire home a 1-0 pitch. Constantine lines it into left field. It's a base hit from second base. They're waving it home. It's a good throw. Play at the plate is wide, and no chance at a tag, and it's an RBI single for Constantine. 7-2 now the lead for Santa Barbara. They had a chance. Addison Klepsch, the throw was on the dugout side of the plate from left. If that throw was on target, granted that's a very hard thing to do. You might have had a chance at the plate, but Chamberlain had to take a few paces towards the backstop to pull him off of the plate. So an RBI single for the number 9 batter. Remains 1st and 2nd. Here comes the first pitch to the man at the top spot of the order, E.J. Royal. Takes ball 1 down on a slider. Constantine, a big 2-out knock. Just his 3rd hit. He's been hitting under 100 so far this season, now at first, bringing home the 2nd run of the inning. Here's a 1-0. It's off the end of the bat foul towards the first base dugout, 1-1. So the lead now at 5 for Santa Barbara in the Finney's 5th inning. Russo at second, Constantine at first as Barfield looks to get out of this inning. Comes the 1-1 pitch, and the slider's in there for strike 2 against the right-handed batter, E.J. Royal. Royal had the first hit of the day, a leadoff single in the 4th. Besides that, everyone was retired first time through the order. Comes the 1-2 pitch. It's a slider, slicing its way down the right field line. Foul and out of play. Remains 1-2. 2 in the 5th for the Blues, 7-2, the Santa Barbara lead. Blues not going away, as did the Forsters last night when they went down 7-0 through 6. Jaden's going to step off. And he's going to re-engage on the first base side of the hill. Staring at Constantine, who just picked up his 3rd hit of the summer. 1st and 2nd, 2 down. And here comes the 1-2 pitch to Royal. It's a slider down and gets through the legs of Chamberlain, and the runners will advance. It'll go down as a pass ball on the catcher. Caruso to 3rd. Constantine to 2nd. And some signs now and some instruction from the 3rd base coach for the Blues on what they're trying to draw up now. 2 down in the inning. 2-2 the count with 2 runs in. Here comes a pitch from Barfield. Fastball away. Full count. Remember, Rarick started this inning. Gave up a base hit. A bloop single. Gets pulled out of the game, and 3 base runners against Barfield. Can he get out of this inning? 3-2 pitch is down the right field line. It's going to slice foul. It remains 3-2. This will now be the 8th pitch of the plate appearance for E.J. Royal against Barfield. Barfield. Runners at second and third behind him. 2 down. 7-2. The lead for Santa Barbara. Comes a 3-2 pitch home. And the sliders on the outside edge. Royal goes down looking. He thought he had first base. And the Blues fans not too happy with that plate umpire's call, but the side retired. The Blues able to bring home 2 onto the 6th. 7-2, the Forster lead.
During this time of record market highs and gradual economic recovery, it's essential you have someone you can trust. For 10 consecutive years, the Santa Barbara News Press Reader's Choice Poll has awarded Tremblay Financial Services recognition for the financial guidance they provide their clients. Tremblay Financial Advisors continually educate their clients with new options and financial planning tailored fit to you. For more information or an appointment, call 569-1982 or log on to tremblayfinancial.com.
Securities and advisory services offered through Centaurus Financial Inc., member FINRA and SIPC, a registered investment advisor. Tremblay Financial Services and Centaurus Financial are not affiliated companies. Investing involves risk, including potential loss of principal. No investment strategy can guarantee a profit or protect against a loss in periods of declining values.
Top of the 6th inning, and Santa Barbara have a 7-2 lead over the SLO Blues. Wyatt Fisher, who started off the last inning, the first man out of the bullpen, remains in this game. The right-handed reliever for San Luis Obispo. Terrence Kill, Easton Mumau, Maddox Mandino will be scheduled for Santa Barbara, top of the 6th. So here comes TK, batting from the right side. 1 for 3 day for Terrence. Errors the pitch, and the fastball will miss down and away. Ball 1. TK ground out to second, line out to short. Base hit into right. We'll lead off the 6th inning. 5-run advantage now for Santa Barbara after 2 runs tacked on by the Blues, bottom of the 5th. Here's the 1-0. On the ground, up the middle to Ardois. The shortstop ranges to his left. The throw will be in time. Terrence tried to turn on the burners, but will be retired. 1 down in the 6th.
Number 23, Easton Muma.
Base is clear, 1 down. Sturs lead 7-2. It's going to bring up Easton Muma. 0 for 3. He has Cade. Ground up to second. Fly out into left. Remember, White Fisher gave up 2 walks, rather 3 walks and a double in the last inning. Here's the pitch. This is up the middle. It's a base hit for Easton Muma. A 1-out knock, and Easton is aboard for the first time today. Ninth hit of the contest for the Forsters. And you look at what's happened so far, what's transpired. They went in order in the 1st and 3rd. Other than that, every other inning, when did not go 1, 2, 3, they scored 2 in the 2nd, 3 in the 4th, 2 in the 5th, and a 1-out base runner for Maddox Mandino to hit for the first time. Remember, he took over for Brenton Clark in right field. So it'll be a righty-lefty matchup. Here's the pitch. Maddox will take a slider for a strike on the inner half. 0-1. Clark did reach base once via a walk, then scored a run, then struck out looking twice. But with the right-handed reliever, Mandino bats from the left side. Here comes the 0-1 pitch. Slider will miss upstairs. Ball 1. Muma. 2 stolen bases this year. He's gone 2 for 2. Bill Pintar doesn't send him as much as some of the other runners, such as Farr or Kill. He's held on to by the first baseman. There's the 1-1 pitch. It's going to miss inside for ball 2. 7-2 the Forster lead. Mandino takes a moment and stands back in. Yesterday, Maddox started the ball game, worked a walk, and went 0 for 2. He's ahead here. Here comes the 2-1 pitch. Mandino sees a fastball high, ball 3. To follow Maddox will be Cole Chamberlain. As the crowd in the stadium seats has thinned out a little bit, remember the temperature is starting to taper off. Still a good amount of ambient light just past 8 o'clock local time, but the sun's setting behind the hills to the distance to our right. Here's a 3-1 pitch. Fastball's gonna hit Mandino on the foot. Time's being called. That ball skipped past the catcher Caruso, and Maddox Mandino is hit by a pitch. Also would have been ball 4, but that puts 2 on, 1 out in the 6th.
Ouch, that looks like it hurt. This hit by a pitch brought to you by AltaOrthopedics.com. Got hurt? Call them.
Muma down to second. Mandino first, and here comes Dean Traynor out of the first base dugout. Wyatt Fisher started this inning. Got a little bit shaky for the reliever in the last. And he's looking towards the right field bullpen. I don't know if he's talking to the first base umpire, and they're going to be making a pitching change. So Wyatt Fisher records an out, gives up a single, and hits Mandino, and he has relinquished his duties by his manager. Cole Chamberlain's coming to the plate, new arm coming in for the Blues.
It's out of here. It's tough to tell whether that's another Foresters home run or one of the many flights going out of the Santa Barbara airport. With 22 daily departures and 11 direct destinations, including Chicago, Dallas, Las Vegas, San Diego, and Seattle, there's no need to drive and fly when you can take off local at the Santa Barbara airport. Prepare for a departure from the usual travel experience. Choose SBA and depart differently. A proud partner of the Santa Barbara Foresters.
When it comes to your office equipment needs, call Coastal Copy. We're the largest independent office equipment dealership in the Tri-Counties, and as your locally owned authorized Savin dealer, Coastal Copy offers complete sales, service, and supplies on a full line of Savin digital copiers and MFPs, Savin color printers, digital duplicators, Savin wide format systems, digital presses, document management solutions, and more. That's Coastal Copy.
You'll see a difference because we go the distance.
Call 1-800-995-8835.
Welcome back to Sinsheimer Stadium. From San Luis Obispo, California, the new arm entry will be the lefty Chase Vialli to face the left-handed batter of Cole Chamberlain. The Sturs have first and second, one down in the sixth. They lead 7-2 over the SLO Blues. So Vialli looks to first, looks to second. Well, fire home the first pitch. Fastball right down the middle, strike one on Chamberlain. Cole today is a fly out to right, a double up the middle of the field. Scored 2 runs. Also, he worked a walk in his last plate appearance. Now standing in for the 4th time in this game. Sturs by 5, looking for more. Vialli, 0-1 delivery is a slider down the right field line for Chamberlain. That ball is fair down into the corner. Extra bases coming up from Chamberlain. From second base, Moomaw will score from ease. Mandino's coming home from first base. And a 2-run double for Cole Chamberlain, and Santa Barbara regain their 7-run advantage. They're on top 9-2 over the Blues. Chamberlain, first runs batted in of the day. Remember, that was a lefty-lefty matchup with this lefty-dominant lineup. Dean Traynor calling on the lefty Chase Vialli. Gives up a 2-run double against his first batter he faces, and he's now facing the switch hitter Sawyer Farr. Here's the first pitch. It's on the outside edge, and Sawyer looked immediately back to the dugout saying that was not a strike, so to speak. It's now 0-1 to the switch hitter batting from the right side against the lefty reliever. 2 runs in, Chamberlain at second. Here's the 0-1 pitch. It's going to miss it down from Vialli. 1-1. Sawyer's gone 1 for 3. RBI double, a run scored. Back in the second, a ground out to the second baseman, and a ground out to first. 7-2, the Stur lead. Here comes the 1-1 pitch. Fastball high and away, ball 2. So after Santa Barbara just conceded 2 runs in the bottom of the 5th, tack on 2 more to regain that 7-run advantage. Remember, we were saying yesterday the Sturs were trailing by 7 going into the 6th inning, rather the 7th inning, putting up some runs to make it interesting. Here's a 2-1. That's going to miss down and in on a breaking ball from Vialli for ball 3. Chase Vialli looks into his catcher, Charlie Caruso. Man at second, just a single out. Here comes a 3-1 pitch. Fastball is up the middle. Second baseman Constantine has to evade. The umpire throws to first, get the second out. Down to third, Chamberlain. Productive out for Farr, 2 down in the 6th. So Sawyer's retired, and that's going to bring up the DH. To bat from the left side, Caleb Hoover. It's been a nice day for Caleb. He's gone 1 for 2. RBI double into left. He's worked a walk, and he has plated 2 runs, so he was responsible for 3 of the 9 runs on the scoreboard for Santa Barbara. It's a 9-2 advantage. Man at third, 2 away. First pitch. Fastball is going to miss upstairs, ball 1. Two runs in for Santa Barbara. Looking to get a game back against the SLO Blues, who have taken the first 2 games of this series. Comes a 1-0 pitch. There's a slider missing away at belt tight for ball 2. I say series because this first time these 2 teams played on Sunday. They won't play again until Saturday. But really, entering this week, 5 of your 6 games against the Blues. Comes a 2-0 pitch, and that is on the outside edge for Caleb Hoover. 2-1 on a slider. Vialli's able to clip the zone. Chamberlain at third after bringing home 2. Here comes a 2-1 pitch to Hoover, and he's going to take strike 2. Another slider from Vialli, and Caleb didn't think so. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Cole Chamberlain, he brought home by Hoover. He's got 1 RBI today. But in this lefty-lefty matchup, here comes the 2-2 pitch from Vialli to Hoover, and it's well away, and a great grab from Caruso. The ball's in the dirt, full count. To follow Hoover will be Addison Klepsch. Sturs on top 9-2, top of 6. Here comes a payoff pitch to Caleb Hoover. Fastball is down. Runners on the corners, and Caleb Hoover is aboard for the 3rd time today. He's got a double and 2 walks.
Next up for Santa Barbara, number
You don't want to continue the inning with a walk if you're any pitcher to face Addison Klepsch. He is 3 for 3, 4 runs batted in, and also a run scored. It is a 9-2 Forester lead. Klepsch can make it more, and a big swing on the fastball. He was late on it from Vialli. Strike 1. Hoover now at first after the walk. Chamberlain is at third. 2 runs have been plated in this inning. Klepsch bats from the right side against the lefty reliever. Here's the 0-1. That is down. It was a fastball. 1-1. Not only that, all the hits, the RBIs, he's got 3 stolen bases in this game alone. And remember, his last plate appearance going back into the 9th inning was an RBI single in the 9th frame. So his last 4 plate appearances have all been RBI hits. Here comes a 1-1. Have to wait in the throw to first as Vialli steps off to check over on Hoover. Vialli looks into his catcher, Charlie Caruso, working from the third base side of the hill. Looks in, and the 1-1 delivery to Klepsch is in there on a changeup, strike 2. Looks like Klepsch thought about letting it rip, takes a strike. Vialli looks to limit the damage to 2 runs. First and third, 2 away, 1-2 pitch to Klepsch. It's a high fly ball into center, shallow center. E.J. Royal long run, camps out under it, makes the squeeze to retire the side. But 2 more runs scored for Santa Barbara through 5.5. 9-2, Santa Barbara.
for floor at Field Recordings Winery,
Lee & Sons Plumbing and Heating is proud to join the Foresters family of sponsors this season. I, Conan, a third-generation owner, was proud to coach for the Foresters for several seasons. Just like the Foresters are champs on the field, Lee & Sons are champs off it. We're experts in every type of plumbing and heating service and repair, from leaks and clogs to heaters and faucets. Strike out your plumbing problems by calling us at 805-965-9586. Lee & Sons, the champions of plumbing and heating. 805-965-9586. Stir it up.
During this time of record market highs and gradual economic recovery, it's essential you have someone you can trust. For 10 consecutive years, the Santa Barbara News Press Reader's Choice Poll has awarded Tremblay Financial Services recognition for the financial guidance they provide their clients. Tremblay Financial Advisors continually educate their clients with new options and financial planning tailored fit to you. For more information or an appointment, call 569-1982 or log on to tremblayfinancial.com.
Securities and advisory services offered through Centaurus Financial Inc., member FINRA and SIPC, a registered investment advisor. Tremblay Financial Services and Centaurus Financial are not affiliated companies. Investing involves risk, including potential loss of principal. No investment strategy can guarantee a profit or protect against a loss in periods of declining values.
On to the bottom of the sixth inning from Sinsheimer Park. From San Luis Obispo, the Sturs regain their 7-run advantage. It is now a 9-2 scoreline. And there will be a new arm entering for the Sturs. Easton Toomis now pitch. He'll face 2-3-4. Ardois, Ashlock, Tollerman. Jaden Barfield, first reliever, went 2 hits, 1 run, which was earned. No walks and 1 strikeout for Jaden. That's going to give way to the right-hander, Toomis. Last appearance for Easton is actually on the start by Drew Rarick on the 19th. First man in relief. Through 2 innings, 1 hit, and struck out 4. It was fantastic work from Easton on the 19th. Here's the first pitch, and it's in there on a slider, 0-1. It was great work after SLO put up 2 runs in the last inning for the Sturs to put up 2 runs of their own. Here's the 0-1, and the slider away, 1-1. Ardois today bats from the right side. Ground out to first and a strikeout swinging. Now the 1-1 pitch to Ardois. Fastball is lined down the right field line, slicing out of the park and actually ricochets off one of the lights and rolls back into fair ground. That's the second time that's happened today, just on the opposite side of the park. Strike 2 on Ardois. As the sun continuing to get lower in the sky, nearly as set at this point. Here's the 1-2 pitch. High fly, short right, long run for the second baseman who will go out. It's Sawyer Farr, as both him and Maddox Mandino were converging. That ball was almost kind of squibbed into the air. Got up pretty high, but did not go very far. And Ardois will be retired, 1 down in the 6th. Actually, there was a defensive change. That was Klepsch to make the play at second. He flip-flopped with Sawyer Farr, and here's the first pitch to Mason Ashlock. It's going to miss high and in for ball 1. So Addison Klepsch now at second base and Sawyer Farr out and left. Now the 1-0 pitch is a slider located for strike 1 on the DH Ashlock. 1-1 the count. Bases clear, 1 away. Here comes the pitch from Tumis. Swinging to miss on the slider, and that slider working already for Easton. He's ahead 1-2 on Mason Ashlock, who today has gone 0 for 2. Tumis lines up the 1-2 delivery. Swing and a miss. Another slider. 2 down in the 6th. First strikeout of the day for Easton. That was the 9th strikeout of the day for Santa Barbara pitching. We've continued to talk about the strikeout numbers for the Sturs. Last night, 13, and really the last 5 games averaging right around 14 and change. That's now going to bring up Zach Tollerman. Bat from the right side. First pitch slider in there for a strike. Said that a lot from Tumis. Slider in there for a strike, and he does it there to get ahead on Tollerman. It's been the only man not to strike out in the lineup today. There's the 0-1, and that ball's rolled foul off the end of the bat directly behind the plate for strike 2. Quickly, Tumis ahead, no balls, 2 strikes. Bases clear, Santa Barbara, the 9-2. Easton winds up the 0-2 pitch to Tollerman. Swing and a miss, the high fastball, and at this point, every Blues batter has struck out at least once, and Easton Tumis just has to face the minimum. Through 6, Santa Barbara on top, 9-2 over the Blues.
We have Audrey and
Santa Barbara Airport has 5 airlines: American, Alaska, Delta Air, Southwest, and United, with 12 direct destinations from Santa Barbara to Atlanta, Dallas, Denver, Las Vegas, Oakland, Los Angeles, Salt Lake City, Portland, San Francisco, Phoenix, Seattle, and Sacramento. With 23 daily departures from Santa Barbara, SBA's newest daily service on Delta Airlines to Atlanta and Salt Lake City can ensure that you can get anywhere in the world in just one stop. SBA is proud to join over 200 airports around the world in the Hidden Disabilities Sunflower Program. Passengers with a disability can opt into the program, and in doing so, trained staff at SBA will be there to provide additional level of customer service. You can learn more at www.flysba.com. Once again, you can learn more and book your flights today from Santa Barbara at www.flysba.com.
When it comes to your office equipment needs, call Coastal Copy. We're the largest independent office equipment dealership in the Tri-Counties, and as your locally owned authorized Savin dealer, Coastal Copy offers complete sales, service, and supplies on a full line of Savin digital copiers and MFPs, Savin color printers, digital duplicators, Savin wide format systems, digital presses, document management solutions, and more. That's Coastal Copy.
You'll see a difference because we go the distance.
Call 1-800-995-8835.
Welcome back to Sinsheimer Park. The Sturs have a 9-2 lead over the rivals, the SLO Blues. On to the 7th. Coleman Ryan, Caden Miller, Terrence Kill will be coming up for the Sturs, and they'll face Chase Vialli for the first time. Remember, Vialli was the reliever to enter for Wyatt Fisher in the last. And the Sturs got a couple base runners, gave up the 2-run double to Chamberlain against the first man he faced. The left-handed reliever remains in this game. And will face the right-handed bat of Ryan to kick off the 7th inning. It's a 7-run advantage for Santa Barbara. Looking to pick up their first victory against the Blues this season. Here comes the first pitch, and the fastball's in there for a strike. 0-1. Coleman has gone 2 for 2 with a walk. Here comes the 0-1. And the changeup's going to miss away to the right-handed batter, 1-1. Bunt single for Ryan, then RBI single into center. He's got a walk and a stolen base. So fantastic stuff for Coleman Ryan, just playing in his second game as a Forester. Comes a 1-1 pitch. Fastball is in there, 1-2. Ryan just joined the Foresters after his time with Texas Tech this past year. Solid numbers across the line. But he falls behind here. Comes the 1-2 pitch, and that is down in the dirt. Fastball by Vialli, 2-2. With the sun setting to our right, still a good amount of ambient light here in San Luis Obispo. That will be diminishing quickly. Here comes the 2-2. Fastball will miss upstairs. Full count. Fans in the stadium seats, the 5 rows deep that surround this infield, have slowly disintegrated, as have the families in the berm surrounding said stadium seats. But now the 3-2 pitch, the leadoff man strikes him out. Vialli picks up his first strikeout of the day. Coleman Ryan goes down swinging. 1 away in the 7th. Chasing the changeup away in the zone. 1 down in the inning. That's just the 4th time that Santa Barbara struck out today. That's through 6 1/3, and just through 6th inning, the Blues have struck out 10 times. But back to the top of the order, here is Miller. First pitch is a fastball sprayed down the left field line, slicing foul out of play. Strike 1. Vialli plays for Cuesta College. Went to high school just a little bit north of where we are currently in San Luis Obispo. Base is clear, 1 out. Here comes the 0-1 pitch. Swing and a miss on the slider. Miller completely fooled in this lefty-lefty matchup. 0-2. Sturs lead 7-2. 9-2. It's a 7-run advantage, rather. And here comes the 0-2 pitch to Caden Miller. It's the slider missing high. Ball 1. Terrence Kill will be next for Santa Barbara. It was great to see Easton Toomas working quickly and efficiently when he came in out of the pen, handled the duties in the bottom of the 6th inning. But now the 1-2 pitch. Fastball is in there, called. Strike 3, and Miller will go down looking. Back-to-back Ks for Chase Vialli.
2801 is the program number we're looking for. 2801. Take it to the marketing 10.
And that's going to bring around Terrence Kill. Today, TK has gone 1 for 4. Ground out to second, line out to short, base hit in the right. Another ground out to short, back in the 6th inning. Say back in the 6th inning, just in the previous inning. Comes the first pitch. TK will take a strike on a fastball, 0-1. TK batting from the right side against the lefty reliever. Infield straight away. Comes the 0-1 pitch. Sprays off the fastball over the berm. And just to the back edge of the complex, a couple of kids chase after it. That is strike 2. And Chase Vialli, after giving up the 2-run double to Chamberlain against the first man he faced, quickly working against the Foresters here. Here comes the 0-2 pitch with 2 down. A drive into our left center field. E.J. Royal will just slide over, and the side is retired. Making the catch out in left center on the line out. And a 1-2-3 7th. It is stretch time in SLO. Sturs on top 9-2 over the Blues.
Stand up, stretch, give a neck rub to the person next
During
to you.
this time of record market highs and gradual economic recovery, it's essential you have someone you can trust. For 10 consecutive years, the Santa Barbara News Press Reader's Choice Poll has awarded Tremblay Financial Services recognition for the financial guidance they provide their clients. Tremblay Financial Advisors continually educate their clients with new options and financial planning tailored fit to you. For more information or an appointment, call 569-1982 or log on to tremblayfinancial.com.
Securities and advisory services offered through Centaurus Financial Inc., member FINRA and SIPC, a registered investment advisor. Tremblay Financial Services and Centaurus Financial are not affiliated companies. Investing involves risk, including potential loss of principal. No investment strategy can guarantee a profit or protect against a loss in periods of declining values.
Back in San Luis Obispo, Eastern Tumis remains on the hill for Santa Barbara as they lead 9-2 over their rivals, the SLO Blues. Regardless of how this one finishes up for the Sturs, they'll have an off day tomorrow, and then we'll start a stretch of 10 straight games. Be at home on Friday against Conejo, and then back to 2 more games against the Blues, 1 on the road and 1 at home on Sunday. And of course, that makeup game we were talking about earlier in this broadcast against Orange County, going down into OC on Monday the 30th for the makeup game, and then full 6 games next week. Here comes the first pitch from Tumis. The fastball will miss inside to Logan Hart. Ball 1. 5-6-7 scheduled for the Blues, trailing by 7. Bottom of the 7th inning. Comes the 1-0 pitch from Easton. A slider is in there for missing inside and a check swing and an appeal down to our bases umpire down the third baseline. There was no swing, so Logan Hart finds himself ahead 2-0. Infield straight away, as is the outfield. 2-0 pitch. That slider is this time located for a strike. 2-1. Tumis had that slider working well when he faced the minimum in the 6th. Here comes the 2-1 pitch to the leadoff man. Fastball is down and spiked and deflects up and ricochets off the plate umpire. And Chamberlain gives him a moment to gather himself. It's 3-1. In terms of the strategy, granted now it's back to a 7-run advantage. We might see Steele Eves, who was supposed to be the 3rd man out of the bullpen today. But would Santa Barbara want not use him tonight, even though they do have an off day tomorrow, so that might change things. But remember, 10 straight games, and that will start on Friday. There'll be plenty of opportunities. Here's a 3-1. Big chopper over to the pitcher, and that ball is going to stay fair. Tumis thought about fielding that ball, or about not fielding it, but went to field it, did not field it cleanly, and the man is aboard. That was a big swing for a soft contact. That's what I was getting at. But massive swing on the slider, chopped it right of the hill. Tumis bounded off the hill. That ball was inches from going foul, and Tumis wasn't quite sure whether to field that ball or let it go. He went to grab it to try to throw it to first. Didn't have a clean play at it, so essentially a swinging bunt for Logan Hart, and he is aboard. It's the 5th hit of the day for the SLO Blues. Here's the first pitch to Kosei Suzuki. Will miss away on a slider for ball 1. Suzuki, 1 for 2. Strikeout, then a double into left, which brought home a run, and he also scored a run. Here's a 1-0. Swing and a miss on the fastball, 1-1. Can Tumis find a ground ball? The Sturs have a nice 9-2 lead. Bottom of the 7th. Here comes the 1-1 pitch to Suzuki. It's popped up and behind the plate, behind the press box. That is strike 2. And the light now quickly fading past 8:30 local time. If you're sticking with us in your different time zones, thanks for being with us all evening long. We appreciate it here at the Foresters Radio Network. 1 on, nobody out. 1-2 pitch, fastball upstairs, 2-2. We were able to see the outline of the mountains in the distance beyond the right field fence for probably past 9 o'clock. Still see the faint oscillating sinusoidal-looking mountain hills in the distance. But now the 2-2 is fouled back over the first base dugout. It remains 2-2. And the crowd has thinned out drastically with the hometown team, the Blues, trailing by 7 runs to their rivals. But it remains 2-2. Here comes the pitch. This is lined into the gap into right center field. Some extra bases coming up from Suzuki from first base. Hart is getting waved home. It's scooped up by Kill, and it's going to be an RBI double for Suzuki. The Blues scored their 3rd run of the game.
$3 Miller Lights, $4 Field Reporting Line. Now through the end of the inning.
Suzuki has his 2nd RBI double of the day. using all fields. This first one was in the left center. This one's in the right center.
Pinch hitter now for Brendan Comerford in
Looks like now a
Hicksonball.
pinch hitter for Cumberford. Jake Hicksonball will now hit for the 7-hole hitter. It is now a 9-3 advantage for the Sturs. Hicksonball to hit for Cumberford. Man at second. A run in. Nobody out in this inning. Now Chamberlain will go talk things over with
Baseball is
Toomis.
brought to you by Richardson Sotheby's Real Estate, Rick Engineering, Ride On,
Bottom of the 7th inning.
Ambulance, and
3-run advantage, rather 6-run advantage with the Blues tacking on their 3rd run of the day.
other sponsors
Start to see arms up now for Santa Barbara and
Studio 2G,
bodies moving around.
Tennis Warehouse, Sunrun,
And now with a run in, man at second, nobody out, you'd imagine it would be Steele Eves to make his debut. And to continue with the regularly scheduled programming for Scott Murray and his initial plan of today's game. Now here's the first pitch to Hicksonball. Man who bats from the left side, it's in the air, and to the second baseman. Klepsch tracks back to try to double up at second. In safely is Suzuki. That ball initially looked like it was going well over the head of Klepsch, but ranged back in a short right. Made the squeeze and had a chance to maybe double up Suzuki at second.
24,
But Suzuki back in safely, and a big first out for the cause for Santa Barbara. Good play by Klepsch, and remember, Addison started in left field today. Sawyer started at second, but Farr and Klepsch flip-flopped, and nice play by Klepsch for the first out in the inning. So one away, man at second and a run in. Here is Caruso to bat from the left side against the righty Toomis. Here's the delivery. Fastball is in, ball 1. Caruso 0 for 1. He has struck out and been hit by a pitch. The Blues now trail by 6, bottom of the 7th. This is where Santa Barbara did their damage yesterday. More on that in a moment. Here's the 1-0. It's inside, nearly hits the right knee of Caruso. Earlier in this ball game, we were talking about the parity with Santa Barbara going down early yesterday, and today it was the SLO Blues going down early. Entering the 7th inning, yesterday the Sturs were trailing by 7. That's exactly what happened to the Blues entering this inning. They were down by 7. They're now down by 6. Here's a 2-0. That's upstairs. A throw down to second. Maybe a good play, but that ball will just skip past Klepsch. It was a heads-up play from Cole Chamberlain. It actually looked like it was the shortstop, Coleman Ryan, trying to make the play. That ball just squirted under his glove. It looked like it. Either the throw was a little bit higher or Ryan was just able to corral that baseball. It looked like they were able to pick off Suzuki off a second. It was a great effort from Chamberlain. But the last pitch did miss for ball 3 on Caruso. So 1 on, 1 out, and a run in. 9-3 the Forester lead. And here comes a 3-0 pitch to Caruso. That's in there on a fastball. 3-1. Gavin Constantine will be next. There are a couple bodies warming up for Santa Barbara as Toomis will step off and re-engage. Drew Rarick got the start going 4+, struck out 6. 2 hits and 1 run. Jaden Barfield is the first man out. Now Toomis looks to second, and here comes a 3-1 pitch. Check swing, it's down. And our third base umpire says no swing, and that will be ball 4. First and second, only a single out, but that does bring in a double play option as Bill Pintard strolls out of the third base dugout. Caruso aboard for the second time today. He's been hit by a pitch and now a walk. Bottom of the 7th. We'll see what longtime manager for Santa Barbara will do. It looks like there will be a pitching change. Easton Toomis, his day will be complete. Sturs go into the pen. It is a 9-3 ball game. First and second for the Blues, 1 down. Bottom of the 7th.
Lee & Sons Plumbing and Heating is proud to join the Foresters family of sponsors this season. I, Conan, a third-generation owner, was proud to coach for the Foresters for several seasons. Just like the Foresters are champs on the field, Lee & Sons are champs off it. We're experts in every type of plumbing and heating service and repair, from leaks and clogs to heaters and faucets. Strike out your plumbing problems by calling us at 805-965-9586. Lee & Sons, the champions of plumbing and heating. 805-965-9586. Stir it up.
The new arm for Santa Barbara making his Forester debut, Steele Eves, just finished up his season with the Arkansas Razorbacks. 8 appearances, 9 2/3, an ERA of 1.86. Herons 2 runners, 1 out, bottom of the 7th. First pitch to Constantine. It's going to miss down on a slider for ball 1. Is a 9-3 advantage for Santa Barbara. Entering this inning, they were up by 7 runs. It is down to 6. 3 men have reached base in this inning. Caruso is at first. Suzuki is at second. Here comes a 1-0 pitch. The right-handed reliever induces a ball that bounds foul and out of play down the right field lines, 1-1. For Easton Toomas, he goes an inning and a third, 2 hits, responsible for the 2 runners. He walked 1 and struck out 2. And Eves, one of the many Arkansas Razorbacks on this Foresters roster this year. Here comes the 1-1 pitch. Fastball is in there for a strike, 1-2. Gavin Constantine, remember, entering today was 2 for 24, hitting under 100, but had an RBI single into left back in the 5th. Falls behind. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Fastball high and in. Leaning back is Constantine, 2-2. One run in, Santa Barbara look to keep it a 9-3 lead. Do not give any life, any crack in the door to try to bring SLO back in this one. Here's the 2-2. Fastball is fouled over towards the first base dugout and rolls right in front of it, 2-2. Remember, yesterday, Santa Barbara 3 runs in the 7th and then had the tying run on base in the 9th inning after bringing home 2. These 2 teams, you can never count each other out. First and second, 1 down. 2-2 pitch, flared up, maybe a chance, and Eves catches it. They're going to double him up at first base. It's going to be a 1-3 double play. The ball was caught on a line out and just has to underhand flip it to first base. Caruso was halfway to second base. Don't exactly know on the base running what was going on with Caruso, but he was halfway to second, and easy double play. The little flare-up caught by the catcher, just underhand flips it. and a 1-3 line-out double play to get out of the inning. Steal Eves. Nice way to kick off your debut as a Forester. We're through 7, 9-3. Santa Barbara on top.
During this time of record market highs and gradual economic recovery, it's essential you have someone you can trust. For 10 consecutive years, the Santa Barbara News Press Reader's Choice Poll has awarded Tremblay Financial Services recognition for the financial guidance they provide their clients. Tremblay Financial Advisors continually educate their clients with new options and financial planning tailored fit to you. For more information or an appointment, call 569-1982 or log on to tremblayfinancial.com.
Securities and advisory services offered through Centaurus Financial Inc., member FINRA and SIPC, a registered investment advisor. Tremblay Financial Services and Centaurus Financial are not affiliated companies. Investing involves risk, including potential loss of principal. No investment strategy can guarantee a profit or protect against a loss in periods of declining values.
When it comes to your office equipment needs, call Coastal Copy. We're the largest independent office equipment dealership in the Tri-Counties, and as your locally owned authorized Savin dealer, Coastal Copy offers complete sales, service, and supplies on a full line of Savin digital copiers and MFPs, Savin color printers, digital duplicators, Savin wide format systems, digital presses, document management solutions, and more. That's Coastal Copy.
You'll see a difference because we go the distance.
Call 1-800-995-8835.
Back at Sinsheimer Park in San Luis Obispo, the Foresters leading 9-3 on to the 8th inning with Chase Vialli remaining in this ball game. He took over in the middle of the 6th. In this frame, he'll face Muma Mandino Chamberlain, scheduled for Santa Barbara. It's gotten a lot darker now here in San Luis Obispo. Still some light blue in the distance when you look towards the coast and a little bit of orange to our right. The sun is setting over the Pacific. But here is Muma to bat from the left side. First pitch on the lefty-lefty matchup. Slider down and away. All 1. Easton has gone 1 for 4 today. He has struck out. Ground out to second. Fly out to left. And a base hit up the middle. Last time he stood in. Here comes the 1-0 pitch to Muma. That is down on a fastball for ball 2. That's Easton's first look at Chase Vialli. And here comes now the 2-0 pitch to the lefty-lefty matchup. Fastball is chopped over to second base. Constantine slides over to his left. The throw to first in time, using all of his frame at first, is Sebastian Lopez to make the grab. 1 down in the 8th. Jake Hicksonbaugh is now at third base after pinch hitting in the last inning. Just a defensive change now for the Blues. So 1 up, 1 down to bring up Maddox Mandino. First pitch, and he's going to spit on a slider inside. Ball 1. Another lefty-lefty matchup, and Maddox, first time up, was hit by a pitch, came around to score in the 6th inning. He entered in the middle of this game for Brenton Clark, who got the start. 1-0. Fastball will clip the upper half of the zone, 1-1. One away, bases cleared, 9-3 the Forester lead. Here comes the 1-1 pitch as Maddox flares up left side, and that ball is going to fall in short left, and Mandino a 1-out knock. We've seen a lot of those type of hits today, the ones that just kind of flutter up in the air and slice away off the barrel of whichever way you're swinging from. Just over the heads of the infielders and no chance for the outfielders. Bloop singles have been pretty regular in this ball game. So Mandino aboard for the second time today. A 1-out knock with the Foresters leading by 6, top of the 8th. That's going to bring up Cole Chamberlain, who's had a big day at the plate. First pitch, as the left-handed batter leans out of the way of a high fastball. Chamberlain started the day with a fly out to right, then a double into center. He scored a run, got on base via a walk, scored a run, then a 2-run double down the right field corner back in the 6th. Mandino's at first, 1 away. The reliever checks over to Maddox. Remember, he's a lefty. He has a good vision over at first. Now at this point, just the silhouette of the trees surrounding this complex and the silhouette of the rolling hills in the distance. Here's the 1-0, and that fastball's on the outside edge, 1-1. Santa Barbara looked to get one game back against the Blues. Playing them 5 times this week. They dropped the first 2 games, looking to get themselves back to this week's series. Here comes the 1-1 pitch. There goes the runner. It's popped up and behind and on top of the press box. Thumps its way on top as Mandino's going to have to come back to first as this now strike 2 on Chamberlain. Chamberlain, just like a couple of players we have said throughout this game, Drew Rarick, Texas Longhorn, as is Chamberlain. Chamberlain, a Northern California native. And at first, 1 out. Here comes the 1-2 pitch. Check swing. Did he go? It is going to be a called strike on Chamberlain. Couldn't find where the bases umpire was when they wanted to check down the swing, but Chamberlain could not lay off. He's going to go around. He's going to strike out for the second out on the high fastball. Look down the third baseline. No umpires there because the crewing mechanics with this 3-man crew is by second base, but he did go around. 2 down in the 8th to bring up the switch hitter Sawyer Farr. Check over to Mandino at first. He's in, no problem. Sturs lead 9-3, top of 8. Bottom of the inning, top of the order is scheduled for the Blues. Sawyer batting from the right side. Now see the first pitch. Strike 1 on a swing and a miss past the fastball. Blazed past him by Chase Vialli. Sawyer today has gone 1 for 4. RBI double and a run scored, then a 3 ground outs since. That was in the 4th, 5th, and 6th innings. Stands in, 2 down, man at first, 0-1 pitch. And a curveball finds the lower half of the zone, and Sawyer quickly falls behind 0-2. There's a pinch hitter now on deck. It looks like Liam Keithley standing on deck in the wings for Santa Barbara to hit in the DH spot if Sawyer's able to reach. One on, 2 down. Sturs by 6 runs. And here comes the 0-2 pitch to Farr. Runner takes off, but it's sprayed well. Towering foul ball over first base into the pine trees beyond the first base dugout. Remains 0-2. Can Farr get on base and bring Liam Keithley to the plate, the right-handed batter, who's donning a new number, 39 now. Chase Vialli looks to get out of this and get the bats back out to the plate. 0-2 pitch, and that ball is foul back behind the plate, halfway up the screen. It was another slider from the lefty as Mandino was taking off again. He's going to have to trot back to first, getting his cardio in this evening. Remember, Mandino didn't even start this game. It was Brenton Clark out and right. Maddox aboard 2 for 2 today, I should say. Hit by a pitch and then also a base hit. But in terms of getting on base, he is 2 for 2. And now the catcher go out to the hill, talk things over with Vialli. As we are approaching 9 o'clock local time. When you look forward for Santa Barbara, remember, an important off day tomorrow. The game getting rescheduled on Monday. It's going to mean the start of 10 straight games starting on Friday. Now that's really going to test the fortitude of Santa Barbara. Test the bodies as well. Every day you're going to be showing up, getting on long bus rides, especially the game that was rescheduled all the way down in Orange County. So a long day and a long night. But with 2 out, the 0-2 pitch. Runner takes off far, checks the swing, throw down. It's going to be close. They got him. Mandino caught stealing. And Chase Vialli just has to face 3 in the 8th. Going to the bottom of the inning. Forster still on top 9-3 over the Blues.
Need a new copier for your office? Coastal Copy is the original copier dealer in the Tri-Counties and your authorized Kyocera dealer, offering complete sales, service, and supplies on a full line of Kyocera Task Alpha digital MFPs. And thanks to the latest in Kyocera mobile and cloud technology, we offer Kyocera's mobile print app, which allows you to access documents through your smartphone or tablet. Call us today to schedule your free assessment and quote.
You'll see a difference because we go the distance.
Call 1-800-995-8835.
It's out of here. It's tough to tell whether that's another Forrester's home run or one of the many flights going out of the Santa Barbara airport. With 22 daily departures and 11 direct destinations, including Chicago, Dallas, Las Vegas, San Diego, and Seattle, there's no need to drive and fly when you can take off local at the Santa Barbara airport. Prepare for a departure from the usual travel experience. Choose SBA and depart differently. A proud partner of the Santa Barbara Foresters.
Number 50, DJ Roy.
Bottom of the eighth inning, Santa Barbara, a 9-3 lead. Steele Eves remains in this ball game. Came into a bind with 2 on, only a single out, induced a line-out double play to get out of the inning. Here comes the first pitch to the man at the top spot in the order. It's a called strike on a slider. So 1-2-3 coming up to face Eves in a clean inning. Stirs by 6 runs. And the batter is E.J. Royal. Here's the 0-1 pitch. Slider is in there, 0-2. Royal has a ground out to third. Base hit in the left. Struck out looking. Has his first look at the Arkansas Razorback, who just finished up his season with Arkansas. Pitching in his first game with the Stirs. 0-2 pitch. Slider inside. Ball 1. To fall Royal will be Ardois and then Ashlock. With the Blues trailing by 6 runs, and Eves looking to work quickly in the final 2 innings. 1-2 pitch. Slider is going to miss down and in. Good looking pitch, but it's now 2-2. And the plan today for Scott Murray's gone pretty much according to schedule, with Rarick getting the start, and then Barfield 2 miss, and now Eves. Here's the 2-2. Check swing that's down on a fastball, full count. Didn't follow the plan yesterday when the Stirs went down early, but using and sticking to their plan here tonight. Base is clear against the leadoff man, E.J. Royal. The 2-2 pitch. A drive into left center field. Here comes Sawyer Farr. Long run, and Sawyer slides to his knees and makes the squeeze out in short left. Great play by Sawyer. Skidding in halfway in the outfield grass and makes the squeeze. 1 down in the bottom of the 8th.
Now in for our 1, it's number 14, Brady Alves.
Now a pinch hitter, Brady Alves, to now hit for Sam Ardois, who's gone 0 for 3 today. Alves will stand in from the right side against the right-handed reliever Eves. 1 down, base is clear. Here's the pitch. Fastball is rolled down the third baseline. That ball is fair. Mumma, long run, charges in. The throw to first will be well late. And a pinch hit infield single for Brady Alves. That ball was essentially a swinging bunt down the third baseline. No chance for Easton Mumma. He tried to huck the throw over to first, but the runner was almost already there, or at least a half pace off, before Mumma even released that baseball. So pinch hit, successful for Alves. Put 1 on, 1 out for Mason Ashlock. Remember, it's a 9-3 Santa Barbara lead. Nice 6-run cushion, bottom of the 8th. Here's the pitch. The fastball is down in the dirt to Ashlock. Ball 1. Good cover by Chamberlain. We've been keeping an eye on the diminishing skylight here in San Luis Obispo. You can just still see a brief outline, a faint outline rather, of the rolling hills beyond the right field fence. Here comes the 1-0. It's a slider. It's a good one. It's a strike. 1-1. Ashlock today, he's gone 0 for 3. Grounded to third, strikeout looking, and also a strikeout swinging. His first look at Steele Eves. Check over at first base. Good pickoff move by Steele. Whipped it over to first base and just barely able to get back is Brady Alves. First time we've seen that from Steele. If I saw that on the bases, you would not want to be playing with fire with that pickoff move by Steele. He glares over to first base, comes set. And the right-handed reliever from the belt, the 1-1 delivery. It's a slider on the inside edge for strike 2 on Mason Ashlock. 6-run advantage for Santa Barbara, bottom of 8. Steele Eves entered into bind in the last inning. Able to get a double play. Here's a 1-2 pitch. It's going to hit the back edge of the helmet of the batter. And he's okay. And it looks like initially it hit his shoulder, maybe his helmet, but I think he went around. It's going to be a strike. Or it might have just hit the bat because there was 2 strikes. He's still going to be batting, and it looked like it hit the bat. It looked like initially hit the bottom edge of his helmet on the back side, but he's standing in the box. It must have grazed off the bat because there was 2 strikes. He didn't make a swing. A check over the runner at first. But it's now 1-2. I should say it remains 1-2 for Ashlock, and good to see him okay. And Eves will wind up the 1-2 pitch. Fastball swing and a miss. That ball gets past Chamberlain down to first base. Well, the first base was occupied, and Ashlock is retired on the spot. The ball did get away, which advanced Alves to get down to second, but since first base was occupied, Ashlock will strike out, even though the ball went between the legs of Chamberlain to allow the runner to advance on the wild pitch. But Ashlock didn't even have a play down at first base, the batter runner. So he will strike out on a very odd sequence of events in that plate appearance with Mason Ashlock. So a man now at second on the wild pitch, 2 down after the strikeout to the DH to bring up Sebastian Lopez. First pitch is a slider for a strike, 0-1. Lopez hitting for the first time today. For Zach Tollerman, he took over defensively at first. But man at second, 2 down. Here comes the 0-1 pitch from Steele Eves. The delivery, and the slider is located low in the zone for strike 2. Remember, Alves at second now. And that swinging bunt just stayed fair down the third baseline. But Steele Eves ahead, no balls, 2 strikes. A long hold on the hill to Colt Chamberlain. And here comes the 0-2 delivery to Lopez. Swing and a miss on the fastball, and Steele Eves back-to-back Ks in the 8th inning. Fantastic debut by Steele. We're going to the 9th. Santa Barbara on top 9-3 over the Blues.
Lee & Sons Plumbing and Heating is proud to join the Foresters family of sponsors this season. I, Conan, a third-generation owner, was proud to coach for the Foresters for several seasons. Just like the Foresters are champs on the field, Lee & Sons are champs off it. We're experts in every type of plumbing and heating service and repair, from leaks and clogs to heaters and faucets. Strike out your plumbing problems by calling us at 805-965-9586. Lee & Sons, the champions of plumbing and heating. 805-965-9586. Stir it up.
When it comes to your office equipment needs, call Coastal Copy. We're the largest independent office equipment dealership in the Tri-Counties, and as your locally owned authorized Savin dealer, Coastal Copy offers complete sales, service, and supplies on a full line of Savin digital copiers and MFPs, Savin color printers, digital duplicators, Savin wide format systems, digital presses, document management solutions, and more. That's Coastal Copy.
You'll see a difference because we go the distance.
Call 1-800-995-8835.
Back in San Luis Obispo with the Forsters having a 9-3 lead onto the ninth inning. There will be a pitch and change for the Blues. Cooper Bagby will take over the pitch the ninth. He'll face Farr, the DH spot, and then Addison Klepsch. And it looks like in the DH spot, it will be Liam Keithley to bat. We saw him standing on deck, but that was against the left-handed pitcher, but it will remain with Keithley, the right-handed batter, against the new right-handed reliever. And that will be 6, 7, and 8 for Santa Barbara. When you look at this contest, 2 runs in the second, 3 in the fourth, 2 in the fifth, and 2 in the sixth for the Santa Barbara Foresters to amass their 9 runs. But it will be Sawyer Farr to lead off. The switch hitter will bat from the left side. He's gone 1 for 4 today with an RBI and a run scored. Cooper Bagby, the right-hand reliever. First pitch is foul back halfway up the screen directly behind the plate for Sawyer. 0-1. Sinsheimer Park, that was pretty much full, is nearly empty at this point. It's gotten cool. The home team is losing by 6 runs, and now the 0-1 to Sawyer. The changeup will miss away for ball 1. Sawyer Farr, the longtime switch hitter. Since he's been 10 years old, he's been switch hitting. And I'll see a 1-1 from Cooper Bagby. Here's the delivery. And the fastball's going to miss upstairs for ball 2. Santa Barbara looking forward into their off day tomorrow and then the start of the 10 straight games, which will test them mentally and physically. They'll be against some good competition as well. Here comes a 2-1 pitch now to Sawyer. Check swing, but a called strike on a slider, 2-2. Santa Barbara will be 3 outs away from picking up a game against the Blues. They're dropping the first 2 games of this season series to their rivals. They'll have another game on Saturday and Sunday. But it's now 2-2 to the leadoff man. Here comes the pitch, and the slider's going to miss away for ball 4. Ball 3 for Sawyer Farr. It's now a full count. And Cooper Bagby, the payoff pitch. The fastball is going to miss inside, and it's going to be a leadoff walk for Sawyer Farr. He reaches base for the second time today. So Sawyer aboard. And that's going to bring up the DH spot. And it will be Liam Keithley to hit for the first time. Remember, initially in the DH spot was Sam Stevens. But then the Stars put Caleb Hoover out there just to change essentially a pinch hitter in the second inning. And here is now Liam Keithley wearing a brand new number 39. Pinch hitting. Man at first, nobody out. Sturs leading 9-3. Top of the ninth. First pitch is a slider in there for a strike, 0-1. And it's good to see Keithley getting a plate appearance for Bill Pintard. We've touched on it with even yesterday how full the bus is now. The man at first. Here comes an 0-1 to Keithley. There goes the runner. It's going to miss inside for a ball. And Farr down to second base. The ball gets away, and Farr's looking to get to third base. The throw down is into the outfield, but it's backed up by the shortstop. It was an errant throw. So Sawyer Farr's going to get a stolen base and then advancing to third on a wild pitch. And he nearly could have come home if the shortstop wasn't backing up the third baseman. That ball was going into left field, and Farr would have scored on an E2. So Sawyer down to second and then over to third on the wild pitch. So now the leadoff man is at third, and Sturs looking to buff their 6-run lead. Infield's playing in. Here's a 1-1 pitch. Check swing foul down the right side of the first baseline for strike 2. I should say Keithley checked his swing and ends up clipping the baseball to roll in front of the first base dugout for strike 2. But with the bus being so full now, some of the guys that are playing a lot, some more guys coming in, you're not going to see as many plate appearances. So good for Keithley to get out there and see some live ABs. Here's a 1-2. As a fastball miss upstairs for ball 2. But then on the flip side of that equation, with the Sturs now playing 10 straight games starting on Friday, having a deep bench, a deep bullpen, opens up possibilities for other guys having a day off, making sure they rest and stay healthy. Here's the 2-2. Slider is down, full count. Cooper Bagby entered this inning fresh. Gave up a leadoff walk to Farr, who's worked his way to third base, nobody out. Aston Klepsch stands on deck. And Keithley now see a payoff pitch. That is called strike 3. Keithley can't believe it. And on the breaking ball, Bagby gets the call, 1 down in the 9th. Farr remains at third, and that's going to bring him to the plate. Addison Klepsch to bat from the right side against the righty reliever Bagby. And here comes the pitch to Klepsch. He's going to spit on it. Fastball misses down, ball 1. What a day it has been for Klepsch. 3 for 4. 4 runs batted in. He has also scored a run. Can he bring home another run? Man at third. 1-0 pitch is the slider. In there for a strike. 1-1. Remember Klepsch, RBI single back in the 9th inning yesterday. He has been on a tear against the Blues. Infield is still playing in. 1 away, man at third. 1-1 pitch is a changeup. Missing inside. A check down to our first base umpire. It is ball 2. Be interesting to see if Steele Eves remains in this game to the bottom of the 9th. Stay tuned. If the Stars might bring in another arm such as Gardino. Here's a 2-1 high and tight. Hitting the deck was Klepsch on the high fastball, and he immediately bounces back up. Some chin music from Cooper Bagby. But with the Stars leading 9-3, top of the 9th, Farr's at third, 1 down. Bagby will now wind up a 3-1 pitch to Klepsch. And that is going to miss down for ball 4. The ball did get away down the third baseline from the catcher, but Klepsch is aboard via a walk to put runners on the corners to bring up Coleman Ryan. So Klepsch, his line today is going to go 3 for 4 with a walk, 4 ribbies, and a run scored. Might be able to bring home another run if Coleman Ryan's able to put something in the gap. Infield back to double play depth. As Cooper Bagby will look for a ground ball to go to the bottom of the 9th inning with 5, 6, and 7 scheduled for the Blues. First pitch, it's a slider for a strike, 0-1. And with how good Klepsch has been today, cannot discount what Coleman Ryan has done. He's gone 2 for 3 with a walk RBI, and a stolen base. So very good stuff from Ryan today. Runners on the corners, 1 out. The 0-1 pitch will miss upstairs, 1-1. Now here comes Dean Traynor at the first base dugout. It's a 1-1 count. Doesn't look like anyone's down in that right field bullpen. They're just going to have Bagby ride this one out. But thanks for sticking with us if you're still listening wherever you may be. With a lot of these Foresters in different time zones, consistently, if you're making us part of your evenings, we appreciate it over here in Santa Barbara. Well, currently tonight in San Luis Obispo, but Santa Barbara will have the off day tomorrow. Back at home on Friday. And remember, said a couple times, and it'll be a big stretch and a good test for Santa Barbara as well. With all these players wanting to move on to the next level at some point in their careers, if possible, have their name called at the draft. You're going to have to get used to playing stretches like this. 10 games, 10 days. The reality of playing baseball at a high level. It's not easy. Long nights on the road, long nights at the park. Be a good test for Santa Barbara. But now the 1-1 pitch, the conference complete's going to miss high and in to Coleman Ryan for ball 2. First and third. Farr's at third base, Klepsch is at first. 1 down. Top of the 9th, Santa Barbara by 6. Here comes a 2-1 pitch to Coleman Ryan with the infield at double play depth. Now the delivery. It's a slider for a strike, 2-2. Ryan takes a moment, stands back in, the right-handed batter. Very nice day today for Coleman, the number 9 hitter, and the shortstop. Runners on the corners, 2-2 pitch is inside, ball 3. Caden Miller will be next on deck. Batting at the top spot in the order today. The inning started with a walk. Klepsch just worked a walk. With runners on the corners, here comes a 3-2 pitch to Coleman Ryan. Runners take off, but that is in there called. Strike 3 on the slider will get Ryan looking. Second strikeout of the inning for Cooper Bagby.
If you're still here, you can go to the marketing tent and pick up your bottle.
And that's going to bring him on top of the order for Caden Miller. He's at the top spot today for Maddox Mandino, who did not start but did come in to bat in the 4 spot for Brenton Clark. He's gone 0 for 5 today. Here's the first pitch. The slider's down. It's going to get past the catcher from third base. Sawyer Farr is going to come home and score the 10th run of the ballgame on the wild pitch. Down to second goes Klepsch, and Santa Barbara regained their 7-run advantage. Is now 10-3 in the top of the 9th. After Santa Barbara came up short yesterday, a 5-7 loss, and then on Sunday came up short against the Blues, a 5-2 loss. They now lead by 7. Klepsch in scoring position, and first pitch missed to Caden Miller. Here's the second pitch. It's a slider for a strike, 1-1. Caden Miller, didn't he get on base today? You know, he's gone 0 for 5, 6 plate appearance. Here's the next pitch. It's away. That is now ball 2. And the implications of this game in the Southern Division, Santa Barbara starting today ahead of Conejo, who have a 9-5 record, and the Sturs will be 3 outs away from an 11-3 record. But here comes now the 2-1 pitch to Miller. It's popped up and fouled back over the stands and over the berm and out of the complex for strike 2. Should he be able to reach? Terrence Kill will be next for Santa Barbara. In case you're wondering, the Blues will have Hart, Suzuki, Hicksonbaugh, 5, 6, and 7 scheduled. We'll see if it'll still be Steele Eves to remain in this ball game. Man at second, 2 out and a run in. 2-2 pitch, runner takes off, but swing and a miss. Miller is retired on the off speed from Bagby, and Bagby strikes out 3 in the ninth, but a run does come in to score. Going to the last of the ninth frame, 10-3, the Forster lead over the Blues.
During this time of record market highs and gradual economic recovery, it's essential you have someone you can trust. For 10 consecutive years, the Santa Barbara News Press Reader's Choice Poll has awarded Tremblay Financial Services recognition for the financial guidance they provide their clients. Tremblay Financial Advisors continually educate their clients with new options and financial planning tailored fit to you. For more information or an appointment, call 569-1982 or log on to tremblayfinancial.com.
Securities and advisory services offered through Centaurus Financial Inc., member FINRA and SIPC, a registered investment advisor. Tremblay Financial Services and Centaurus Financial are not affiliated companies. Investing involves risk, including potential loss of principal. No investment strategy can guarantee a profit or protect against a loss in periods of declining values.
Bottom of the ninth inning in Santa Barbara. A comfortable 10-3 lead over the SLO Blues. And a new arm is coming in for Santa Barbara, Zach James. Now pitch in his third ball game of the season for the Sturs. So far, just 3 1/3, 2 hits, no runs, no walks, and 5 strikeouts for Zach James through 3 1/3 in his combined 2 appearances. They'll take over for Steele Eves, who just made his Forster debut, going an inning and 2/3, just 1 hit, no runs for Steele, no walks, and along with 2 strikeouts. Here is Logan Hart, bat from the left side against Zach James. Looking for 3 more outs, pick up a nice win over the Blues. First pitch, fastball will miss away for ball 1. There will be a pinch hitter, Andrew Raymond, now hitting at the 5 spot. Here comes the 1-0 pitch to Raymond. Fastball swing and a miss, and you can just tell the velocity from James higher than anyone tossing here today. Ball and strike, and Zach James will wind up the 1-1 pitch. Here's the delivery, and the changeup's in there for strike 2. In line for the victory this evening will be Jaden Barfield after Drew Rarick went 4+. The starter, Barfield, pitched the 5th after Rarick allowed a leadoff single. Here's the 1-2 pitch, swing and a miss. Zach James enters and strikes out the first man he faces. 1 away in the 9th. We've been talking about the strikeout numbers for Santa Barbara recently. That is the 13th strikeout today by Santa Barbara pitching. And that continues the familiar trend with what we have seen the past 5 games. Unbelievable numbers from Santa Barbara. They've held the Blues so far tonight to 3 runs. They're down to their final 2 outs for now Kosei Suzuki to hit from the right side against the right-handed reliever Zach James. First pitch, slider away, ball 1. James' last appearance was just a 1 out on Sunday, the 22nd. Here comes the 1-0 pitch. Fastball inducing a swing and miss for strike 1. That is when the Forsters lost 2-5 last Sunday in the day game against the Blues, and James came in to record the final out of that contest. Followed Jaden Barfield. But now the 1-1 pitch to Suzuki. Fastball is on the ground left side over to Coleman Ryan. Charges in, and the shortstop will make the play at first base. 2 up, 2 down, and the Blues down to their final out in the 9th. That's going to bring up Jake Hicksonball.
Jake Hicksonball.
Bat for the second time. So for 1, and Santa Barbara looking for one more out to claim their 10-3 victory over the Blues and pick up their first win in the season series against San Luis Obispo. Infield straightaway, as is the outfield. Terrence Kill is shaded into the gap in left center. But the first pitch to Hicksonball is a slider for a strike. There have been 7 hits today for the SLO Blues. With 2 down, base is clear. 0-1 pitch as Hicksonball will take a slider for a strike and SLO down to their final strike this Wednesday evening. San Luis Obispo. And Zach James, who entered this inning clean, has struck out 1. Will now wind up the 0-2 pitch to Jake Hicksonball. The delivery, swing, and he went around. No, he did not. It looked like, yes, he did. The dugout was starting to clear. There was a check down to the third base umpire from up here. It looked like he went around, but a third base umpire down the line says, no, not so fast. Is it 1-2 now? Looking for one more strike. Here's the 1-2 pitch, slider, swing, and a miss. Got him that time, and the second strikeout of the day for Zach James. 3 up, 3 down, and Santa Barbara pitching Cade 14 here this evening, and more importantly, Santa Barbara a 10-3 victory over the Blues. Jaden Barfield will be the pitcher of record and pick up the win for Santa Barbara, and just a fantastic bounce back from Santa Barbara. Bill Pintard said yesterday when he addressed his team, good effort last night. Came up a little bit short. You had the tying run on base, go-ahead run at the plate in the 9th inning. But here tonight, you struck early, you struck fast, and pitching was fantastic all the way through. Getting walks, getting hits, and Santa Barbara, a 7-run victory over the Blues. And the Foresters will be going into the off day tomorrow on a positive note, and then they'll be facing the gauntlet of the schedule. Starting Friday, 10 straight games. They'll be back at home on Friday to face the Conejo Oaks. First pitch will be at 4:30 local time, so if you are in the area, be sure to come on out and support the Sturs. And they take on the reigning CCL champions, the Conejo Oaks, 4:30 local time. Once again, the final score, 10-3. Sturs take it over the Blues. For the entire team, the entire staff, I am Hunter Shoemake saying so long from San Luis Obispo. We'll see you on Friday when the Sturs are back in action.